we lost our audio there. Hi guys, and welcome to day 2 of our championship weekend here at APAT. This is, of course, the APAT show. Lee, what do we have to look forward to?
Well, we left the show last night saying we'll bring back 16 players for day 2. We're 2 minutes into day 2. We're down to 15 players already. We've already got an exit.
Wow.
Before we've even got going with the show. But basically, we've got the day 2s of both of them at the medal events, the main events today. So first up, just kicked off now with the 16 players left, 2 tables in the No Limit Hold'em. Main event. That's got a 10k prize pool in that, over $2,000 up top to the winner of that one. We have already lost Leandro Vinkowski from Brazil, ace queen into the ace king of Richard King from the UK. So Richard added about 250,000 to his stack. So nice early hand for him. We'll obviously be following this. Then at 8 o'clock, we've got day 2 of the PLO main event. 14 players coming back for that. 13 are going to get paid. So we're literally on the money bubble as the guys come back for day 2. We've already promised, if you were watching the show last night, that we said we'll be putting an APAT online ticket up for whoever finishes in 14th and misses the cash tonight, because there's nothing worse, Des, is it, than bagging your chips up and having a good night's sleep and they're not making the money the following day.
You don't want to do it, right? It makes for a manic Monday, and nobody likes a manic Monday, I have to say. And of course, it's not just the cash, right? It's not just the cash, Lee. The guys are playing for some medals as well. Let me put them up. There we go, guys. You can see the infamous, famous even, APAT medals, gold, silver and bronze. No bracelets available at this event. They are reserved for our World Championship of Amateur Poker events, but medals and cash available to the top 3 tonight.
Excellent. And it makes a nice change, Des. We're doing an APAT show in the daylight. It's not often we get to do that. It's been a couple of months, and it is chucking it down with rain here on the south coast of England. I don't know what it's like with you, but it is throwing it down.
Well, I'm based up in
July
London,
weather.
I'm looking out the window now. It's all quite dark. It's starting to get dark. So you still have a lot of light down there. It's starting to get dark here. It is dry, which is good. And I see we both got the company memo with regards to black t-shirts. Simple black t-shirts, right? So
you can't go wrong. I'm just watching another hand, which is Rui Manuel with ace king against Leandro Gomez with queens, and the queens hold for Leandro. So Leandro's is going to get a double up. It already lost a few chips. Started off with just over 300,000. Leandro's now up to 520,000. And
wow.
And yeah, that's really hit Rui's stack. Had just shy of 500,000 going into this day 2, and has lost half of them already.
Painful. Well, we've got both of those tables up there, Lee. Do you want to talk us through any of those players that we might recognize at home?
Yeah, well, it's not just the players that we recognise at home. Obviously, for those that were watching it last night, you might well have picked, and you may well have been playing the event yesterday, and you may well have been playing against some of these guys. Chip leader going into this day 2, and is still very much his chip leader with 1.3 million. Is actually in this hand at the moment with Gasper Sivek. Is Roman Matvechuk from Russia. Starts off 1.3 million. Inigo Navarro from Estonia was second in chips, and Josiah Weaver from Mexico was third. Roman and Inigo really over 1 million chips each. Josiah is just 630,000. So there's a difference between the top 2 at the moment in there. Also in the mix, already mentioned Richard King, who's added to his stack already, regularly cashes in these APAT events. Eddie Nyaksu, who is been a regular on the APAT leaderboards, weekly leaderboards now for a long time during these lockdown. Is there, started with 360,000 tonight. And Dan Austin, one of the short stacks, messaged me last night to say he's got a bit of work to do, Dan said, but we all know Dan's got a very, very good poker game, and if anyone can work a short stack, started today with 276,000. So we'll see how it goes for Dan. Dan is on the table with the chip leader.
Yeah, Dan's got just under 12 big blinds, as you refer to, Lee, and quite rightly, you don't count Dan out. You do that at your peril, even at this stage of the tournament. And I say we've got an all-in here, aces against tens. Eddie's holding the aces. He just needs to avoid that 10, which he does, and he doubles.
And that puts Pedro now down really, really short stack. on that table, just over 5 bigs. I mean, nothing you can do about that. That's just to say it's just unfortunate timing. But obviously for Eddie, the ace is holding. That means he's going to significantly add to his stack. Eddie started the day with 360,000, so it's pretty much double that up already. And we're only, say, 7 minutes in to this day 2.
Perfect start to day 2.
Yeah, that's what you want to get, isn't it? Although Des, I mean, I got dealt aces first hand in the bounty hunter last night, and it didn't do me much good. Probably because I was also trying to, doing the show as well last night. So
in fairness, it
levels weren't there.
It sort of moved you from 50,000 straight up to 140,000. Didn't do you any harm. It was the rest of your game that did for you.
Just because I wasn't paying attention to the cards. I should have actually been watching what was going on, but not always possible to do.
I saw an interview. I was doing some research today for a project we're doing a bit of work on, and I did see this interview between 2 people. No names, no platforms, no channels. I can't mention anything. But the question was, if you couldn't have aces or kings, what would your favorite opening hand be? And the answer was Queen Jack.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I guess it's got lots of straight opportunities.
You're not going to say it's got potential. Don't say.
Yeah, of course
it's not it's not the hand you're going to choose, is it? You might have ace king. Queens, I would have thought, it was definitely up there in my pantheon of selections.
Hang on, is the Queen Jack suited? If it's suited, I'm having every day.
I think that question was asked as a bit of a sort of an offer. It was a bit of an offer of get out of jail, and the response was yes. And the ask was what suit, and the response to that was the ace of hearts. That was the whole discussion right there.
All in a call here, and it's down at risk, and he's hit the spade on the river. Going to get a double up, ace 6 of spades against 9-7 for Leandro. Leandro had hit the flop, but wow, Dan gets there on the river, and river's the flush, and gets the double up, much needed double up that he wanted. Just looking in the chat, you'll recognize the name from Scott, your Sky Boat.
Max Alley.
I reckon Max Alley says he's tuned in to wish Rob Green good luck. Yeah, I hadn't mentioned Rob started the day with 367,000 in them there chips, and is going along quietly at the moment, not causing too much of a problem. He's in the small blind at the moment, just lost a few chips, but yeah, good to see he obviously tuning into us, but obviously here for the commentary as well.
He's here for the commentary, but I don't think we're a danger to Rich Orford and TK. I have to say, definitely. I think the boys are sorely missed in the commentary booth. I would have to say.
But do stick some comments in the chat, or if if anything about any of the players that we're watching, or if you've got any questions you want to ask about APAT or the weekly leaderboards, or what you think. We think about the football,
COVID, world politics,
whatever there is. Stick something in the chat. Let us know you're there. If we do know you and you're under an alias on Twitch, then just make sure you just give a shout out so we know who we're talking to. And if you're new to APAT, well, just say hello and introduce yourself.
Not only that, but if you go to apat.com, APAT.com, sign up for a free membership, right? Get involved. We are the biggest provider of amateur poker tournaments globally, just as far as targeting recreational players is concerned. So we'd love to have you guys on board.
And we're currently playing all of our online stuff on Party Poker. So that's where you'll find us. We have a tab on the Party Poker lobby. So if you play on Party Poker, just go and look it up, and all of our events are in there.
Mr. Ali, right, said it was more Lisa Marie Long. I know Lisa very well, but Orford and the old fellow were okay. They were okay. Now you make a good point, son. You make a good point. We were dead lucky at Sky Poker. We had some brilliant presenters go through the mill.
It's not just how good they were as presenters. I mean, I was lucky enough to go on the show a couple of times, and as somebody that's never done any TV or anything like that, they put you at ease and are absolute professional in what they do. And yeah, you just feel like you sat on the sofa having a chat with mates. Yet so slick and professional in what it is they did.
Absolutely right.
Just to have that opportunity to have that experience of getting to go on the show a couple of times was just amazing. Something that I
What
look
was
back
your
on with fond memories of it.
what was your take when you first walked into the green screen studio? Did it come as a
No, it was
surprise?
no, it wasn't. It wasn't green screen then.
Oh, you moved.
I was after. I think I was after the green screen.
Oh
I don't know.
no.
I don't know
Oh,
whether
the
they
green
still.
screen was amazing. It
Yeah, I
was
don't think they
absolutely
did that.
amazing.
It was a normal. It was a normal set. I think they might have had a little bit of green screen on a
Oh, that's
table
a
to the side, but it wasn't the full. It wasn't
yeah.
the full setup then back then.
Just after I left, they were moving back to Osterley, so Sky's main campus. They were based down at Arkiva in Feltham, and we had a very big studio down there, but it was completely green. The
Yeah,
floor, the ceiling, the walls, completely green. So a lot of people would walk into it and go, "Shit, where's everything I see on TV?" There was nothing but green and a desk. It was, a difficult place to sit for 3 or 4 hours, I have to say, because
yeah.
it was
I
a
would
little bit
imagine it's not. Yeah.
sickly, but the
I know
technology was
I've
superb.
seen some offices that now do out there. At least they have at least one of their meeting rooms that's a green screen room, and it's fully kitted out there. So
Makes sense.
whoever's sat there and has got the backdrop for them. But,
Makes sense. We'll have to
yeah,
we'll have to invest in some green screen tech for our little APAT show. What do you think, Lee?
yeah, yeah. It would be a good set. Although the kit these days, I mean, if you go on a Zoom call, the
Mm,
technology to
smart,
do your
isn't it?
backgrounds and stuff is pretty neat as it is. But obviously, if you've got the green screen, it really does look super slick. So very neat. Well, we lost one very early on here in this main event day two, and it's kind of quieting down. A couple of the short stacks have had a double up. Others that have taken a bit of a hit are obviously not panicking at the moment. Blinds are 12,500 and 25,000 at the moment. So yeah, I guess Leandro Gomez is now the short stack.
And Pedro with 152K is probably the shorty.
Yeah, yeah. So it's got about six bigs, isn't he? So yeah.
But it does seem to have rather calmed down a bit, although I dare say it'll kick off again very, very shortly.
Very much so. Hi to It's Matt 3245.
Saludos, my friend. Colombia. Have you been watching any of the South American Football Championship?
I haven't, but I've kept an eye on the scores. So Argentina, Colombia in the semis, is that right?
I think so, and I think it's Brazil
Yeah.
and I'm going to say Peru. I
Yeah.
think Brazil and Peru certainly tomorrow night, so I'm going to assume Argentina, Colombia
But it's
Wednesday
got
night.
it's got the makings of Brazil Argentina final, isn't
I
it?
think
Kind of
it looks
really.
like that
Yeah.
from the off. For example, Brazil played Peru in the qualifying round and beat them 4-0, and yet they find themselves up against the same team in the semi. So certainly the two have dominated, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. It's going to be a good couple of semi-finals and then a cracking final, whoever it is. Very
Yeah.
much the same as the Euros. I mean, we're spoilt for football, and I mean, I don't know how excited you get about this kind of thing, but I saw the first trailer for the Olympics
Oh,
on the weekend. I haven't completely got into it yet, but I know I will do. But it's on that little slow burner. Once the football's out the way, then obviously it'll be full steam ahead with the Olympics, which will be a bit weird with kind of again the limiting of fans in stadiums and at the venues, but it's just crack. It's a chance to watch sports that you wouldn't normally watch and follow and just get properly get behind. Really, really looking forward to it.
yeah. I dream that I tune into the Olympics, someday in the years ahead, and like you get a couple of portly guys playing pool. That's what I want to see, right? I don't want them swimming in the pool. I want them playing pool.
Hey, if they can get skateboarding in, there's hope. So
Absolutely.
Leandro's got it all in with 9.10, and he's hit a perfect flop really.
Oh,
For
look at
up and down straight
that.
draw, and has got there on the turn, and then it holds out on the river. Obviously, there was some outs for
Wow.
for Gasper, but it didn't get there. So Leandro Gomez gets a double up, and Gasper Sivek is now very, very, very short stack
Well,
here.
Gasper had to love the flop, Lee. He hit his top pair with an ace kicker. He looked strong, but as you said, Leandro had outs, and he delivered.
He does. Well, Gasper's now all in now. Leandro's gone on. Gasper's made the call from the small blind. Roman gets out the way. Ace 5 against King 10, and Leandro's hit his king. But there's plenty of outs there for Gasper, but doesn't get there on the river.
10 takes it.
And we lose Gasper Sivek from Slovenia. He's going to depart in 15th position. And we'll in a minute we'll pull over one of the players from the other table to even balance them out, as we're down to 14 now.
Lee, I've got an unusual one for you, right? So it is an absolute summer of sport. Okay, we mentioned the Olympics. Obviously, the Euros are happening. We've got the Tour de France. We've got the Lions Tour of wherever the hell they are, South Africa, I assume.
South Africa, yeah.
And we've got Wimbledon. So we've got a young lady who's shown up sort of pretty much out of nowhere as far as being a rather distant tennis fan was concerned. She's playing the last 16 today. I don't think it's kicked off yet. Due to kick off probably in the next half an hour.
You are such a football fan, aren't you? Yeah. So the tennis hasn't kicked off yet.
Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Who was it? It was Boris Becker that used to kick the balls. He used to like volley them and all of that good stuff. Do we know anything about this girl other than she's clearly quite handy?
Other than a mum told her not to pack too much kit, and then she didn't have enough kit for the second week. That's the only story. Story I heard.
Does any British tennis player ever pack enough kit?
No,
I'm not going to carry that weight. I mean, why would I carry that weight?
Yeah, you won't be needing that.
That's right. One towel should be fine to cover the first round. Is the norm. Leandro's at it again,
and there's got there again, and. Taking it. There's a bit of a dent now into Roman's stack. He did start the day with 1.3 million, and it's down to 800,000 now.
Well, Leandro was second bottom about 10 minutes ago, and he's now second in chips.
So Leandro Gomez from Malta started the day 13 out of 16, and he's now second in chips. And meanwhile, it's another all in, and Richard King with the ace 6. It's the 8s that are at risk. And the 8s are going to hold, which is a nice double up there for Lawrence.
As the chocolate,
Lawrence Gunnar Onnen from Germany.
As the Chocolate King sees his stack melt.
Oh, very good indeed.
It's early.
It's very.
Oh no, I think we're losing. We're losing audience, Lee.
It'll be fine. So we've got two big football semi-finals in the Euros coming up. Interested to know what everybody thinks about those. First up tomorrow is Spain versus Italy. I just think the Italians are going to be too savvy for the Spanish, but you never know. And then obviously the big one for England on Wednesday against Denmark. So let us know your thoughts on those. Who do you think is going to make the final? Who do you think is going to win it? Certainly not going to be Wales or Ireland, Des, that's for sure.
It was never going to be Ireland, Lee. Not for a long time.
I don't think it was ever really going to be Wales. To be
well, the thing is, I mean, we didn't necessarily see
Denmark.
We didn't necessarily see the best Welsh team, but I thought they were brilliant. I really looked great against Turkey. And, the Denmark result was what the Denmark result was. They probably didn't deserve to go out like that. But it is one of these tournaments where I do think the majority of teams have played pretty well. The football has been pretty good. It's been pretty exciting, up and down stuff. I quite like that. But ultimately, the cream is going to rise to the top. And nobody's come out with a different game plan that I can see. There isn't, an Italy of... 1986 or 1990 who could defend for their lives. I mean, England have a great defensive record, but their game isn't based all on that. So for that reason, I think because nobody's doing anything too different, I'd have to say looks like an England-Italy final to me.
Yeah, I think that it has that kind of feeling about it, doesn't it?
I think that could be difficult to call though, Lee.
Yeah.
Wembley advantage aside, I think that could be a tricky fixture to call.
Well, as I say, the Italians are very savvy. I mentioned it last night on the show. If you watch their quarterfinal game, it was the last 10 minutes, 10,
Oh
15
yeah,
minutes. It was just gameplay. That's all it was. Knew exactly what they were doing.
Eddie's all in here
Winding the opposition up.
against
Yeah.
Pedro.
Ace 9 Freddy against the Ace King of Pedro, and meanwhile, Dan's all in with Ace Queen up against Rob Green's King Jack. It's the King Jack at risk, and Rob's hit on the turn. A lovely flop for Rob, because it gave him the flush draw opportunities as well. So it's a double up for Rob Green. And Dan takes a bit of a dent, but is still in a better position than he was when he started the tournament. So no worries at the moment with that one. So I haven't mentioned payouts for this, other than I mentioned it was over 2,000 up top. But yeah, so the guys currently with 14 players left are all guaranteed $177. But as I say, it's over 10 times that for first place. So the top five, so fifth place picking up $512, fourth place picks up $700, and it's just over $1,000 for third for the bronze medal position, $1,475 for the silver medal position for second place, and $2,131 plus the APAT gold medal for first. Nice. Really nice. $55 tournament, lovely structure, 2-day event. You can even feeder into these every month for $5.50. Very similar structure that we run for our weekly event, except that's just a 1-day. That's a $33 buy-in every Sunday. You can play that, and we watch the conclusion of that on the APAT show on a Sunday night. You can feeder into those from $3.30 already this week. They're in the lobby now. Go and play one this evening if you want to. For those that are interested, this is also part of our weekly leaderboard ladders promotion, where we give tickets away to the top 20 on the leaderboard every single week. They finish on a Sunday, so it runs Monday to a Sunday. And obviously this week's one, once these two tournaments that we're showing tonight will play out, we'll conclude that. But this week's leaderboard has already started. First tournament started at 7 o'clock. You can get into that now. It's a 6-max knockout. And at 8 o'clock tonight is the PLO8. So 2 tournaments. They're $5.50 to play in them. Really nice structures. Say run times normally 3 to 4 hours. So perfect for an evening to play a bit of poker. So if you fancy getting involved in those, we pick up all the results. If you cash, you pick up points. And if you go onto apat.com and go and have a look at the rankings, the weekly rankings page, you'll see all the information you need to for that, of how you can win tickets, and you'll see your name on the leaderboard if you cash at any point during the week.
Quite like having the leaderboard, Lee. It's not just about the extra cash you make from it, but it's quite nice to set yourself some targets, try and hit the top 20, to get into the added value, try and hit the top 10, try and stay there, and see how you're doing against your mates around you. It always adds a little bit of flavor into your poker to be deep in the leaderboard.
Yeah, and we run, so in a normal week we'll run it's 16 events. We'll run 2 each day, and then we do 4 on a Sunday night. So the guys at the top of the leaderboard are normally cashing in maybe 4 or 5 of those. Well, that's a really good thing. If you're doing
good
30%,
return.
just watching Inigo with Ace Jack, and he's going to bust. I didn't see who the player was there. It was Eddie with the Ace Deuce.
Lucky Eddie.
Unfortunately, we lose Eddie Nyaxu in 14th position, and our chip leader Inigo adds more to his stack, up to nearly 2 million in chips now. But yeah, the guys that say that are topping that, and I don't know whether they play all of them all week. We don't track that necessarily, but so they could be doing cashing in more than 30% of what they're playing, because they might not be playing all of them. But that's decent. I mean, you normally say that a good pro that is got is in the money 15% of the time, between 15 and 20%, is doing really well. You're beating the game if you're hitting 15 to 20%. And say some of our guys in our games can be up 25, 30% on a regular basis.
That's pretty good.
Um,
It's pretty
no,
good.
it's, but
You
it's
know,
a high stat, but it's high standard games though as well. So it's
well, that's exactly it. I mean, you know, the formats are pretty good. They're pretty
all in the call. Josiah went all in with ace 10. Sorry, Des, to cut you there.
Go for it.
And the chip leader, and he goes woken up with jacks and turned another jack as well, just to finish that. So Josiah finishes in 13th place. Josiah Weaver from Mexico, picking up $177, and we're down to 12.
Nice. We're going to hit a final table here in the not too distant future, Lee. Are we looking at 8 at the final?
Yeah, I think they might jump. I think they might jump to a 9-handed. I'm pretty sure they do actually.
Yeah, I'm a fan of a 9-handed.
Yeah, just to get it going. They don't. So you don't play. Yeah, so you don't play 5-4 on the bubble for the final table, so to speak.
And I see the World Series of Online has kicked off. Obviously, prize money down on same period last year. Maybe not a massive surprise that.
Well, I think there's a couple of things in there, isn't it? So obviously, it's effectively, although it's the World Series Online, it's WSOP.com at the moment. So majority of the world can't play those at the moment. And of course, those that can play that at the moment, of course, have got a big live series in the autumn.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
So whereas last year,
surprising.
just watching another all in and a call, Martin Rigvelt with ace 4 against Pedro's jack 3, and Martin is going to take it. They were pretty much even stacks, and Pedro's now got not even a big blind left. It's actually half a small blind, so that'll be going in next hand, I would imagine. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, obviously last year I think that there was a fairly obvious understanding that there wasn't going to be a live event, so people were going to pile into the online version of it. I guess maybe, if you know you've got a live series coming up, how much you want to play these online events, I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, do you play them to cash and make money for the live series, or do you keep your money for the live series?
Just Dan's all in with ace 8 and against Rui Manuel, and ace 8 is good. And so Rui finishes in 12th position, and we're down to 11. And I say we're going to have another all in straight away because Pedro's all in with his 8K. Martin Rigvos has woken up with queens. Pedro's got an ace though, and he hits his ace. Oh, he's hit his ace.
Queen. It's another ace.
It's another ace. So what sort of time is it when you want to hit your ace and you've got hardly any of a stat, but it now puts him up to about 1.5 bigs. So he's very much chip in a chair situation for Pedro, but he's still in the mix. I'm guessing it's not going to take long before he gets those chips in the middle again.
I don't think so.
Michael Fallar's actually gone in under the gun this time on that table. So we'll see whether there's any action.
Well, Michael knows this 46K is going in, so he's got to have something. Right?
Richard King's repopped it as well. So they're firing into the big blind of the chip leader, Inigo, and it's ace 10 for Michael, jacks for Richard. Oh, ace and a 10. Richard's going to need a jack, and it doesn't appear. So he's going to double up Michael.
Wow.
And Pedro's still there with his 41,000. Is it going to be this time? It's pretty much one big blind. So, and Richard's actually made the move under the gun. First of all, let's see whether he's going to get a caller from either of these stacks. Is Michael going to look to play another hand with Richard? Having a think about it. Nope, lets it go this time. So we're down to 11 now. And in half an hour's time, the PLO day 2 will start. That's 2 tables as well.
How many have we brought back in that, Lee?
14.
14.
Back in that one, yeah. And it's paying 13, so we are on the money bubble with that one. Evening to Baba Yaga again, who was in the chat last night. I know some people last night did say who they were, and I must admit, it's my mind's already gone blank as to who they were. So I think we talked about this after the show, didn't we? Last night we said we might just go with usernames. It's going to be far easier to do. We'll get used. we'll get used to everybody as usernames. It'll be far easier. Of course, apart from Frank Bailey, who just beautifully is like. What's he like? Frankie B 456 or something like that, isn't he? So nice and easy for us to work out. So we can do that. I know a couple of people had problems getting a Twitch account set up yesterday. I think you can watch it without needing a Twitch account, but obviously you can't chat in the chat box. But
yeah, but they were having difficulty setting up a password. Just
yeah,
close your eyes and type 9 times.
Yeah, it's so simple. So Pedro's all in for his one big,
go.
and he's got a little bit of protection from Martin Rigvalt, who's raised it up in next position. So just the or under the gun, shall I say? So just Michael Fallar in the button, and then Richard King in the small blind to get through.
Michael's got to call this, hasn't he, Lee?
It's an interesting spot here for both of those, because is Martin just trying to say scoop up here? He's not going to. So Pedro's got 10-3. That's what's at risk.
Well, look at those diamonds.
Martin ahead, and the diamonds have hit.
And they're straight. Oh, that's just straight.
He had a straight and a diamond.
Wow, he nicked it all. Incredible stuff.
Scooped the lot. So Pedro goes up to nearly 3 bigs now. I mean, that's the dizzy heights of 3 big blinds.
Well, he's doubled twice now. He's still got a bowl of salt.
Yeah. So there's a guy called Tristiano842 in the chat. Never heard of him.
Oi oi.
The clue. So yeah,
sounds like a Sancho fan to me.
So these are day 2s. I've heard about these. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So so Baba Yaga is Eddie, isn't it? So who's
we just calling him Baba.
Yeah, it's Baba. It's Baba Yaga now. So Baba Nyaksu. So he finished in 14th in this one. So Tris, nice to see you in the chat. Hope you are well. Really love to get you back on the show at some point. So if you're up for it, we can talk about everyone that Man United are going to sign this summer. Three-way all in.
Oh, here we go.
And it's Pedro's gone and hit again. Incredible. Richard King's
hell.
Queen Jack is no good. Martin Rigville picks up the side pot, but Pedro scoops the lot, and Pedro's gone up to nearly 10 bigs. From one big blind up to 10 in about 2 hands, really, 2 or 3 hands.
What I've just witnessed, it makes no sense to me. We've also got Renote, APAT. Renote. We've got Greg M, right, out there as well. Twitch Lookbox is back, of course. And what the heck? You got to look very carefully at these things. I can't even say it. My one and only Twitch chat, as I'll never be able to sign in again. So he's gone with a random password. Save it. Save it in your Chrome thing, right? Save it.
He's like permanently clicking the forgotten password button. Yeah.
Good luck, Dan and Rudders.
Greg in the chat saying good luck to Dan and Rudders. Yes, so Dan Houston, that'll be who's playing. Is currently actually raised up this hand in the No Limit Hold'em, and Rudders will be Richard Ruddling Smith, who is in one of the 14 that are coming back for the PLO in about 25 minutes time.
And Reno, of course, is Tony Ross.
We all know.
He's found us, Lee. Oh no, Tony's found us.
The only reason we moved this to Twitch is so Tony wouldn't know whether he was top of the leaderboard anymore.
Don't tell Tony. Don't tell Tony.
What we all said. Keep it quiet. Keep it quiet.
Oh no. Good to see you over, Tony. We are laughing.
We're down to 10 now in this, and obviously we're going to go hand for hand for this final table of 9. So once we lose one more player, we will be on the final table of the June main event. And still very much anybody's. Inigo, who was second in chips coming into today, has really been the one that's actually been piling on the stat. But everybody else has kind of been up and down and all over the place. Leandro Gomez, who was 14th out of 16 when started, has now got a stack of 1.2 million, is second in chips. So there's a couple of interesting stories brewing. And of course, Pedro, who 5 minutes ago was on one big blind, has now got a stack of 10 bigs. And let's see whether he can do anything with that. Top 3 are going to pick up medals. These guys now are all guaranteed $206 for where they're finishing. But as I said earlier, over 10 times that for first place tonight. Over $2,100 for the winner.
Yeah, I mean, this cash is beginning to get tasty now, Lee. It's beginning to count, I would say. Tris is saying, yeah, can do. Finally working now. That's good news. Good news to see Tris back. Did see a picture of him on the Facebook coming back on a train from somewhere far away. He looked well tired, but glad to be going home. I'm sure equally glad to be going out as well. But he's on nights from next week, so Sunday nights will be free as working a 4-day week, Monday to Thursday.
Excellent stuff.
Good man.
Excellent. Well, we're seeing lots of things changing for people, aren't we? Certainly in the UK. Be interesting to know what anyone that's in other countries around the world are finding with lockdowns and the COVID restrictions. Whether it's travel or actually just with what they're doing in their kind of own local situation. But we're finding things are changing for people now. People are works are opening up, offices are opening up, restrictions are easing, and people have got lots going on. Just watching Pedro with his ace king.
Ace 5.
Oh, the 5 has hit for the chip leader, and we are going to lose Pedro, who I had high hopes. He's going to
fine as hand
plays, and Inigo is just running golden so far in the first 40 minutes. So we have a final table. Whilst Des is bringing that table up, I'll just run through who we've got. So it's Inigo Navarro from Estonia, who's going to be our chip leader with 2.5 million. He's got twice as many as the player in second place, which is Leandro Gomez from Malta. Our chip leader overnight, Roman Medvedchuk from Russia, is third with 1.1 million. Martin Rigvolt from Sweden with just shy of 1 million. Then we've got Michael Falar from the Czech Republic, Robert Green from the UK, Dan Austin from the UK. We've got Lacrimera Eon from the UK, who actually was a short stack going into this and has actually made the final table. So very well done to you.
Nice.
And finally in ninth is Lawrence Gunnar Onnen from Germany, who is sat on about 3 bigs. So and straight away we've got some action, and with the player that I said was on 3 bigs with the Queen 10, and Roman has got the ace 5, and the ace 5 is going to be good, and we're going to lose our player in ninth place, which is going to be Lawrence from Germany. Was the short stack going on to this final table, and I think just got it in with Queen 10, and obviously Roman out of the big blind. He was Lawrence was on the button, so Roman out of the big blind has got an ace and says, well, I'm going to call this off. I've got 1.1 million in chips, so not a problem to make that, and unfortunately Lawrence didn't hit, so we are down to 8 now. A bit more room around the table. They can all just squeeze around a little bit now and just stretch out a bit more.
That's right. Get your feet out there. Let your crotch talk. Tony in the chat has asked the oft-asked question, and he's signed of any dates yet for APAT? Not yet, Tony. Not yet. We're sort of waiting for those.
What does he mean? What does he mean by dates? Have we got some sort of new dating app? Are we swiping left and swiping right? Have we not? Have you not mentioned this, Des? Have you launched some new product?
Listen, we'd have the worst dating app of all time because nobody can get the goddamn password in. What the hell? Yeah. We can't get the password in. I just tried password 1234. It works every time.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. So dates for live events. Well, we're waiting to obviously see what some of the venues are going to do. As I mentioned last night, got the impression from Rob Young with Dustle Dawn in Nottingham in the UK that he was starting to think about making plans. The place needs a good clean and a tidy up, that's for sure. From the videos that I saw.
I was up there last week. Lee had a look at it. It was looking very, in need of a good polish. I was doing a bit of graffiti on the front there, and I thought, gonna have to clean all of this up before we go.
Not good at all.
I was putting on APAT rules, but if you do it in that real graffiti style, you can't read it.
But certainly in the UK, the Hippodrome put on an event at the weekend, which looks like it was a pretty much a successful event, and we know Grosvenor are starting to do things as well. Chances are, our plans are probably that we won't look for be doing anything in 2021. But that's not to say that if some venues open up and there's and things are all progressing nicely, that we might sneak something in. But it certainly would be a very much a one-off type of event, maybe just a kind of feels more like a reunion type of style thing, very much a social thing. I think we would do if we were going to put something on. It certainly wouldn't be a start of the season or anything like that. It would be.
I'm thinking a cash game around at Tom Brady's. What do you reckon, Lee?
Sounds good to me.
We should be able to get about 6 tables into the house, right, and a few in the back garden. Sweet.
I did see somebody posted in the Party Poker community on Facebook the other day. Somebody from saying to us, is anybody getting any home games arranged in the Plymouth there? I nearly tagged Tom in it and just go, this sounds right up your street, Tom. Yeah, so Dan Houston is all in under the gun +1. Just Rob Green in the big blind to get through. Blinds are now at 20,000, 40,000. It's a tough one for Rob to make the call. Depends whether he thinks what he thinks Dan's up to.
Well, knowing Dan, he could be up to
easy
absolutely anything.
Yeah, it's very much a case of picking your moments here now. So with the 8 players left, min cash now, 8th place is $290. Don't forget this was a $55 buy-in tournament, $2,131 up top.
Just thinking of Dan there, Lee, and the only thing guaranteed is that he's got a wall of trainers behind him. Anything else is not fixed.
No, who knows what could happen. We nearly got Dan on the show last night because he just missed the link he's anyone that caught Dan in the comms with us during the World Championship of Amateur Poker earlier on in the year will know the guy can talk some serious poker. You're just laughing at the chat box, aren't you? Yeah.
I have no idea who anyone is, Lee. I have no idea. Somebody said, I resent that comment, Desmond. I mean, I think that's Dan. That could be Dan. I have no idea. Honestly, no idea. No idea. While, Twitch Lookbox is saying, is Yanni here? This is a message for Yanni.
Right.
If Yanni is here, can he please do a clean up in aisle 7?
Yes, you don't look at things properly enough. So I resent that comment, Desmond. So who's that from? Read the person's name.
Where is it? Oh yeah, okay. Not swollen ad.
Right, now read it backwards.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh dear. Sorry if I've blown your anonymity there, Dan. But yeah.
Bloody heck, he's like, what is he like? Nobody else has time to do the password, and he's got time to type that in back to front. What?
Dear, oh dear.
Oh, that's creative.
I still just go with I'm pretty much still chipper-cruel on most things because I've registered for them in the last 15, 20 years. Like I think, and I don't know where it came. I think PokerStars was probably the first account that I ever signed up for, and I put it in there, and pretty much I've kind of stuck with it ever since. At most things, but I do worry sometimes that people obviously instantly know it's me. So occasionally I do change it up to something a little bit different. Just to
it is pretty well known. It is pretty well known.
Fairly well known. Yeah. So Leandro putting the pressure on from the small blind into Dan's big blind, and Dan lets this one go. Dan's not going to give up lightly here with his stack. He's down to about 9 bigs now, but as you said, Des, with the pay jumps where they go now, this is all about being calm, looking at the situation, looking at the stacks around you, and not rushing into anything. You don't need to rush a blood to the head here. It's just about playing sensible poker.
Now, Lee, I've been watching this table, right? There were two tables for the last hour or so, and I've seen nothing calm. I've seen absolutely none of the stuff that you've just described there. Is it about to start now?
Well, it is, because I think as you're playing down to final table, so the guys came on today where they were guaranteed $150. So to get to the final table, it was, they were up to sort of 245. So it wasn't a massive jump, $95 for a jump of like 7 places, something like that. Obviously now the jumps start getting quite serious. It's sort of $100 an exit. Which is serious chunk of money. Let's remember all of these guys are recreational poker players. They play for fun, play for in their spare time, socially, that kind of thing. I'm hoping some of these guys might well have got through this tournament for through one of the feeders and got in for $5.50 or something like that, and going to therefore turn $5.50 into maybe $1,000 or $2,000.
Nice, yeah.
That's really what it should be about, and that is the point. You're on this final table. To be fair, David Lappin, who we had on the show last week, on the Sunday before last, said it perfectly well when we were talking about sit and goes, and he's quite right in what he was saying. Is when you hit a final table like this, it doesn't happen loads. So
know.
the
Yeah.
experience of it is for some people, they're not experienced with it, where the pay jumps are now starting to get serious, and effectively they're on a sit and go with variable
Yeah.
starting stacks, and how you choose to play that. It doesn't happen every day for somebody. It's, people always say about the heads up game. Oh, I wish my heads up game was better. Well, of course, the heads up game is never going to get better. Um, if you're waiting for every time you actually play a heads up in a tournament, what you've got to do is go and play either some heads up sit and goes, or every Tuesday, for example, we run a heads up tournament on Party Poker, with the only weekly heads up tournament on the network. So you go and play that for $5.50 on a Tuesday, and try and get your game improved.
Learn
That's
it,
the way you do
basically.
it.
Learn
Learn
it.
it. Yeah.
Reduce the luck quotient once you get to this final table, because we don't see
Exactly.
enough of them, right? And of
No.
course, there's the extra variable with the APAT events, Lee, in that, the top three all walk away with something like that. And you do not want to miss the opportunity to get one of those delivered to you in the post. Right?
Yeah,
Because
there
they
is
are
nothing worse.
super spectacular.
And I know plenty of APAT players that have been playing with us for, say we're coming up for 15, we'll be celebrating 15 years in a few months' time. And that have, desperate to win an APAT medal, and have got close a couple of times, and have not thrown it away, but it's not gone their way for them. And you don't want to miss those opportunities, as Dan's all in. So he's got Martin to get through on the button. He's having a think about this. He's then got the chip leader, Inigo, in the small blind, who's got just shy of 3 million chips now. So Martin's gone into his secondary time bank by the looks of it. What he's got left of it. I'm not sure whether he's disconnected, or whether he is just having a proper think about this, but he's using up all of his time. And he's folded, gone all the way around. And Inigo re-raises. That puts Michael Fallar all in effectively, doesn't it? It's 10-9 for Dan. It's sixes. 10-9's at risk. It's going to need to be a 10 or a 9.
Ooh.
And it's not going to be. And we're going to lose Dan in 8th place. Nice shoving spot with the suited connectors there from Dan. Just goes to show, it's not a case of always waiting for hands if it's folded around to you and you're in a situation there. But Inigo's never folding sixes out of the small blind there with his stack size. Not happening, unfortunately for Dan. But nice cash, $290 for Dan, and we are down to 7 players as we got an all in the call again. It's Michael with the jacks. They're ahead.
Oh, not
and
enough.
That is going to be enough. And we're going to lose Lacra Miura, who was our short stack coming into this day 2, and has ended up finishing 7th for $345, which is pretty good laddering, all things considered. They started with 232,000 chips. We've got another all in a call. Michael's got the 3s this time, and Rob's got the ace 4. Rob's going to need to hit, but he's got a few more outs after the turn, and it's not going to happen. And they're dropping like flies here. And Michael is doing all of the damage, winning his races basically, and dodging those aces hitting the board. And Michael's now gone up to 1.2 million, and we lose Rob in 6th place, picking up $420, and we are down to 5. Getting very close to this medal bubble.
It's all moving pretty darn quickly now, Lee.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's just that's just a situation of some pocket pairs being dealt, and the other player getting dealt an ace and feeling that it's a good spot, because obviously as the players on this final table reduce, you do open your range up a little bit, and all of a sudden you're thinking, well, there's only 5 or 6 left now. Well, my ace is probably good in most of the time here. But nothing you can do when Michael just has that little heater of a couple of pocket pairs, and Inigo getting a pair of 6s against Dan earlier on. Yeah, they're just kind of sensible calls. There's no one's getting too aggressive and playing recklessly with their stacks. It's just kind of playing itself at the moment, really. Blinds now are at 25,000, 50,000, and we are down to 5, and we are 10 minutes away from the PLO day 2 starting with 14 players. Yeah, Tony's right. So Tony's in the chat saying Yanni told him he won a medal months ago.
I heard that.
I asked him to show me, but he said you keep forgetting to send it. Is this true? Yeah, Tom and I have got a bet is how long we can keep telling Yanni we forgot to post it.
Tell him I've
I
got
think
it.
yeah, I think we're up to about 2 months now. It's going really well. But yeah, so no, Tom did genuinely forget to pop it in the post, and I actually did send Yanni exactly what Tom sent me back, because it was something along the lines of "Oh bugger." That's my fault. I've forgotten. So hopefully it is winging its way to Yanni now. A lovely APAT bronze medal. Actually, the bronze medals I think are my favourite ones from a look point of view. Don't get me wrong, the gold is, and the silver are very sharp, but there's something about those bronze medals. They're
Yeah.
just beautifully
When
crafted.
we
They look so nice.
when we got the very first medal, yeah, I call them prototypes. They were just the first medals, right? When we got the first few through to sign off on, do you see, if you look at the picture that's there on the screen, if you look at the gold one, do you see you've got that sort of sanded area in the middle
Yeah.
where the logo is and the stars? Well, that wasn't sanded. It was pure gold effect, like the rest, the outside of the medal. And basically, you couldn't look at it; it would blind you. It looked absolutely terrible. So we added that sand effect, and I think it made a hell of a difference to the medals.
Yeah, no, they are fantastic, and it's always nice when people put up their they post up pictures of the medals or trophies or bracelets or whatever they've won over the years.
Do you remember that, Lee? Do you remember that?
It's a beautiful looking bracelet, that one. Yeah.
That is the World Championship of Amateur Poker bracelet. More about that later this year, I'm sure.
So hope you guys are finding Twitch okay. So it's the second show we've done on here. For anyone that's new to APAT, we've been streaming the APAT show now since the start of lockdown in the UK. So coming up for 18 months now, and I've done we must be
we've done a few,
well over 100 shows now.
Oh God, yeah.
Just following the action, either on a Sunday night or if we've got a bigger festival on as well, or similar to what we're doing now for a day two. We don't. Sometimes with our bigger festivals, we'll be showing whole cards on a delay, but very much on a weekly basis. It's very much about following the action, getting the community in the chat, and just being there in the background as players are playing whatever it is they're playing poker wise on a Sunday or a Monday night. But if you go onto apat.com, you'll see our full schedule. Even easier, go and check it out on the in the Party Poker lobby. Just go and find the APAT tab. It's right there in between the WPT and the World Cup of Cards tab on the Party Poker lobby. You'll see the APAT logo. Click on that, and you will get all of the APAT games that are available this week. The satellites, the feeders, and the main events that play on a Sunday night, along with the daily games as well. Lots of different variants in there as well. So you'll see we play a weekly heads up game. There's a weekly stud tournament. There's PLO8 games, Omaha games, Mix Max games. So lots of variants. We're 5 to the hour though. So these 5 remaining players in the day two of the main event on a break, and that means we are 5 minutes away from the PLO day two kicking off. 14 players back for that. Let me give you a rundown of who's going to be playing the PLO whilst these players are on a break. So Marcus Nord from Sweden is chip leader in the PLO with just over 500,000 in chips. Stefan Gruber from Germany, second in chips, and Joachim Kobbel from Austria is third. We've also got Andy Heath from the UK, Igor Asimov from Germany, Yanni, who we hopefully he's got his password sorted. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to use his 324,000 chips that he's got in the PLO. Nick van Engelenberg from the Netherlands, Richard Rudling Smith. There's already a shout out. Somebody in the chat was wishing Rudders good luck tonight. Johan Bergman from Sweden, Sirey Havarushkin from Belarus, John McKellar from the UK, Mikhail Kirillov from Russia, Larry Pashak from Canada, and Antonina Brown from the UK. 14 players coming back. It's paying top 13. So we have said we will sort out an online ticket for whoever the unlucky player is that finishes 14th tonight. Never like to see somebody coming back for a day two not in the money. So we will send them a $33 ticket so they can play the PLO on Sunday night.
Sweet.
If they want to play this week's main event, if they want to give that a whirl, we'll put a $33 ticket into their account to ease their pain of not making the money in that one. Min cash for the PLO is $110. So so 14th place will pick up a $33 ticket as well, and over $1,000 up top in that as well. There's tonight. So that's the guys are just 3 minutes away from starting. So they're all busy at home, limbering up now. I reckon, doing their stretches, lunges, that kind of thing, ready to go. It's not easy. You don't realize this 4-card game. I mean, the extra effort you have to put in to cope with playing with 4 cards. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I do that, Lee, they're limbering up. You say? Let's just see if we can hear them. It's pretty impressive. That they're all sounding pretty good there. I thought.
Rudders sounded just slightly off key. I mean, I don't know.
He was playing a C flat.
I wouldn't want to be too critical, but it, I don't know. It's wasn't quite there. Yeah, wasn't quite there, was it? Oh dear, I love it. So Tris in the chat, I missed that earlier on, but I don't know whether you picked it up on it. So it'd be great to get back to playing the odd poker weekend too. Yeah, as I say, I think things are opening up, and not just in the UK, but all over. Mentioned on last night's show that Vegas seems very much in full force at the moment. Some big events at the Venetian and the Wynn, and genuinely seem to be getting on with it. Plexiglass is all gone, and they're just cracking on. So really looking forward to the autumn. I think it's going to be really interesting.
Absolutely,
it's going to be
absolutely fantastic.
And I miss Triss's comment. So Lee looking though silver fox in a Twitch box. I missed that.
Oh, that's a bit artsy, isn't it? Silver fox in a Twitch box.
I got described the quiz on Friday night. I got described as being looking a lot like Richard Gere. he's bloody 72. I mean, really?
Come on, Lee. That's not bad. Yeah. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
My brother's wedding last week. My mum said, "Oh, I'm really liking the grey." I'm like, well, I didn't ask for it. It's just what's there.
Oh, design.
I didn't say, "Oh, great." In fact, you couldn't put a bit of the old Scove look on.
I'll tell you, you were in trouble, weren't you? If she said something like, "I don't really like the grey," what are you going to do then?
Yeah, exactly.
The old. I mean, what are you going to do? What is it, Grecian 2000? Get enough of that in there, and your hair will fall out.
Is it just for men? Isn't that the
that's
thing?
The one. Just for men. That's the one.
I don't think I would ever dye my hair. Not my style.
I have to say I haven't had the need to yet.
There's a guy that I used to be a client of mine. Used to run bars and restaurants. I think I've probably told stories about him lots of times. A Greek guy, lovely chap. It's probably about 5 years older than me, but has dyed his hair for 20 odd years. I mean, literally just jet black. It's quite funny. So the PLO should be just about up and running. I think they are they're underway as well. So we'll keep an eye on those at the moment. We'll let you know of any exits in that, but obviously our main focus will be on these 5 players playing out for the medals in the No Limit Hold'em, and then we'll jump over to the PLO when
set this up
when that's come to a conclusion. So we will keep an eye on that. Of course, they jumped straight in for hand. Which is the way it is, because they're on the money bubble in that PLO game. So yeah, apart from Martin Rigveld now, so blinds are at 25,000, 50,000. So Martin sat on about 12 bigs, 13 bigs. The rest of the guys are all over 1 million chips. So I've got 20 plus bigs at the moment now. So Martin very much in the big blind at the moment is the shortest stack that these guys are going after. Leandro raised it up from the button, and Martin's bit of power play back from the big blind says, well, no, I'm not having any of this. I'll put my chips in the middle. What are you going to do then? I'm not going to be bullied at this table at this point in the tournament. Nice to see from Martin. Whether he had a hand or not, we don't know because we don't see their whole cards unless it goes to showdown. But again, Michael's raised it up under the gun, and it's Leandro Gomez this time that says, right, well, I'll get my chips in the million, 1.1 million in, and we'll see what the other players are going to do here. Is Michael going to make the call? He does. It's ace queen versus queens.
Oh, and it's
the
an
queens
ace.
at risk, and Michael's hit his ace. He's going to need the case queen, and it doesn't come. And we're going to lose Leandro Gomez in 5th place. Michael Falar picking up a huge pot there, puts him nearly chip leader now, and we're down to 4. So we are now on the medal bubble. One of these guys is going to miss out on an APAT medal tonight, but they are all now guaranteed $700 in cash. So yeah, not going to complain about that, but also they'd all like a medal as well if they could possibly get one. Very unfortunate with the queens there, Des. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really, you've got to love that hand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, you know, admittedly, you're much happier with a queen jack.
Suited.
Took you a while there. It took you a while,
so
but you got there.
I was sipping some tea, and then so that's all it was. Yeah. So so Tony in the chat says, yeah, go grey, don't go bold. Yeah, I think if you had a choice of the two, yeah, I'd take going grey every day over losing.
Although I have to say, today there's being bald isn't a thing. It's not an issue. No, nobody's concerned about that.
No, I would agree. But yeah, I'd rather actually my dad is grey, but still got a full head of hair at 73. So
your odds are looking good then.
I'll take. Although if you saw my younger brother receding like anything, and and he's 2 years my junior, and it's pretty much shaves it all off already, and that's it. So who knows how it's going to work. Yeah, he made an absolute faux pas at his wedding the other week. So they obviously there's little things you can do at the weddings at the moment, so you can't. It's very difficult. So they put on a little music quiz whilst the dinner was on, just to kind of keep people entertained. And they done up everybody's number one on the day they were born. So there's about 21 of us in the room. So they created this playlist, and they did a little quiz and said, right, so you need to name the song, name the artist, the year, and then who in the room you think's.
That's great. I like it.
Right. So of course, because it was two families coming together, so obviously through COVID, I don't really know everybody, so it's a great way of getting to know people and chatting. It's a really, really good fun. Because I was nailed on. I know what mine is already. So my niece and nephew are on my table, and we're playing table versus table. I'm like, kids, don't worry, we got at least a point here. I've got this sorted, not a problem. Got to 21 songs, and he hadn't played it. I was like, this is a bit weird. So I wandered over and I said, are you sure you got that? Yeah. And his now wife said, oh, well, maybe you thought it was the US number one. I said, no, I'm pretty comfortable. I know what it is. Anyway, so they went off to work, came back, and then realized, and he said, yeah, I got you wrong by a year. Yeah, I do a year younger than you actually are. Brilliant.
What an absolute tosser.
Yeah.
Outrageous.
Yeah.
Right. So, Max is saying
could have been worse. He could have had me a year older, so I'll take a year younger. So that's fine. but the reason I know it is because on my year I was the day I was born, Queen Bohemian Rhapsody was number one in the UK. So
was it? Okay. Spectacular one.
Know that. Yeah.
So Max is saying need to refocus at them bottom two tables, Des. Looks like the players have duplicate cards. I'm not sure if we can help with that.
No, I think it's just because it's
it's
simply because it's just they're smaller, so it's a little bit tougher for them to actually to see what's going on. That's all. We're just keeping an eye on those at the moment. Obviously, they're still
they're just for a flavor.
They're on the money bubble in that PLO, so we will shout at anything that goes on in those at the moment. And as soon as we conclude the No Limit Hold'em,
We'll
We're
go
down to
big.
4 in that now. We will go big on the PLO, because I know there's plenty of people in there that are railing those guys at the moment. We're on a really short delay here on Twitch, guys. I know if you've been following us on Facebook over the last 18 months, you're probably used to it being like a 30-second delay kind of thing. Is with Twitch, it's about 12 seconds. It's really quick. So pretty much what you're watching on the stream is as good as live. If you're watching the table yourself. So, and it's pretty slick. So, but don't forget, just chuck stuff in the chat if you want to ask any questions to either of us, any APAT related or even or not. If it's football, politics, we can't talk. We can still talk Trump. Des loves to talk Trump, but
Trump. I've
yeah,
missed him so bad. It's just.
Yeah, it's not quite been the same. There's a new series of Spitting Image coming in the autumn. I'm quite looking forward to that. So we'll see what.
Well, Trump. I hope Trump's going to be there, Lee. I don't want Trump replaced by Hancock.
I can't believe they won't put Trump.
I hope so. I hope so. Listen, I got in a small spot of trouble last week, Lee. Small spot of trouble at home. Right? Yeah, obviously we like to keep our home life, pretty private. But got in a small spot of trouble. Hadn't told the better half that a friend had bought a puppy.
Yeah, you got into a bit of bother, didn't you? Yeah.
She still goes on about it, right? She's not happy that I hadn't told her that my friend had managed to procure a puppy, a pretty cute-looking puppy. It has to be said. And
but
I'm easy,
I'd imagine your friend wouldn't have gone and sent you loads of photos and stuff to make the situation.
He did.
Worse,
she was sitting on my knee at the time when the pictures came through, and frankly, I got the death stare, not the death star. The death stare is hotter, can I tell you? But she's still talking about it, Lee. She mentioned it in the car today. 8 weeks, she said. 8 weeks. And I went, 8 weeks? What? 8 weeks? And she went, yeah, puppy, 8 weeks.
Yeah, I think I did tell you pretty soon after we got her, didn't I? So
I had all the intel, all the insight.
You did know for a long time before I,
Straight over there. So, I went on Amazon earlier on today. So
any available?
Didn't see any. No puppies.
No
puppies, not yet.
Tried
though.
You can't. It's crazy at the moment in the UK. It's very difficult to get puppies. Very difficult to rescue a dog. There's not many available for rescue at the moment as well. We're expecting that situation to change in the next 6 months or so. But at the moment, it's like bikes, printers, and puppies. All in high demand. Toilet roll's okay now, but toilet roll used to be on that list as well.
Sorry, printers are in high demand.
Yeah. Used to be, so during lockdown last year, you couldn't buy a printer for love of money. Did you not know this?
Are people wiping their bottoms with spools of ink? I mean, what?
No. It's because people were working from home, so there was an
I get that.
There's an absolute rush for printers.
But that was like a year ago. What have they been using to print in the last year and a half? That can't be an issue today, can it?
Well, it's still not fully resolved with stuff coming into the UK. But yeah, I mean, sort of in the autumn last year, printers and bikes was an absolute nightmare, and I don't think it's got massively better.
Well, listen, Sean took me to Costco today at lunchtime. Right, so I'm still making up for the puppy story. So anyway, we went into Costco, and we're walking down.
I think Michael's got it. Is he going to call here?
Here we go.
He's raised under the gun, and Martin's gone all in from the small blind. So you're kind of feeling he's having a proper think about this. It's about 500,000, so it's about 20% of his stack behind. No, he's going to let it go in the end. He'd raised it up to about 130,000, so just about a 2.2 raise. It's difficult to know because Martin's played quite aggressively as he's the short stack when he was short stack of the 5, and obviously he's short stack of the 4 now, and is still, if he's getting raised into, it's a simple decision for him. It's just a all in or fold. We will see. Sorry, your Costco story. I do apologise. There was just a bit of action.
It's painful. It's painful. Do please stop me. So yeah, she needed to pick up some comfort and a few other things. I don't think the comfort was related to the puppy, but some fabric softener, right? So we go in there. We walk the big aisles, right? There are huge aisles in Costco, and she finds this big tub bottle of stuff, £6, right? all you can wash for 2 months for £6. So she got that. She popped it in the whatever. And, you know, we've walked a couple of aisles away and there's this big free standing display. And she went, oh, look at that. You get 2 of them for the price of 1. I said, yeah, but it's £12 for 1. So we got that instead. I said, we've just invested twice the amount of money. Yeah, she said, but we've now got 4 months worth of stuff.
Brilliant.
Isn't that what a bank's for? You just got to leave your money in the bank for an extra. Oh, I don't know.
There's in the Omaha, there's been a few all-in and calls, but we're yet to lose anybody. We're on the money bubble there, and the short stack, Antonina Brown from the UK has doubled up. Did have 60,000, is now got up at 110,000, but still not lost anyone yet. In that, meanwhile, we are still on the medal bubble in this no limit hold'em.
Oh, I get what I get. I think what Max was saying, right? You need to refocus those 2 tables at the bottom because it looks like players have duplicate cards. It's bloody Omaha, isn't it? That's what he's talking about. They've got 4 cards. Honestly, Max, could you just explain the jokes in future, please? I'm not sure the viewing audience can handle the 6-minute gap to the punchline.
If Des isn't going to get Dan Austin's username on Twitch, then there's no hope. There really is no hope. So the trouble is, it could be worse because sometimes for those, I mean, I watch a fair bit on Twitch of poker players and this, that, and the other. And of course, normally they're on sort of a 5-minute delay, which is actually perfect, Des, for working out the jokes. Because actually, the amount of time somebody posts something in chat and it takes 5 minutes before anybody reacts to it.
Oh, that's true.
At least you're getting a fairly instant reaction from us. So, yeah. So Max Ali says soz. Yeah. So who do you think is going to win this, guys? We're down to 4 players. We've got Inigo, Michael, Roman, and Martin. Who do you think is going to take the gold medal in this? Actually, 3 of those. Well, actually, let's count all 4 of them. So all 4 of these guys were in the top 5 chip stacks going into day 2, and they've all they're all still there now.
I think Roman's been the most impressive. Lee, he's come in as chip leader. He's had a few trips south, but nothing too dangerous. He'd be my tip at this point still.
Yeah. Inigo's the one has really picked up the most chips because he started with a million and has got it pretty much just up to 3 million and has been sat there for a while with that. But I still kind of feel Roman's probably would be my pick. I think, but let us know in the chat what you think. Roman's from Russia, Inigo's from Estonia, Michael's from the Czech Republic, and Martin Rigvald is from Sweden.
Do me a favor, Lee, if you're able to, depending on your setup, are you able to share with me the feature table that we're looking at, so that final table?
Yeah.
Share it with me, and guys, just tell us if what we're about to put up is better quality.
Just need to change one of the themes on it.
Awesome. Donka.
Don't want it to not have the right thing on. There we go. Right, got far too many of these open. There we go. Try that one.
Boom. Okay, let me do a bit of magic. Okay, I can't do that. So, right, guys, so just let us know if this is clearer. Obviously, we're not seeing the PLO tables as a result. That looks a lot clearer to me, Lee, just from a pure definition, in terms of me looking at my monitors, but I'm not entirely sure what the guys are seeing out there. But it would be interesting to note whether this is clearer than what you were watching. Unfortunately, if I go full screen with that, we lose the top of Roman and Martin's cards, which is unfortunate.
So Baba Yaga thinks Michael's going to win this. As Martin's all in again, gets called by Michael this time. The 8s are at risk. King 10 for Michael, and Michael hits a 10 on the turn, and another one on the river for good measure. And to just as Baba, which is what this is what we're going with now. This is better. It's going to be. It says Michael. Michael goes into the chip lead. Max Sally says it's clearer for him now. He only sees 2 cards, so that's fantastic. Perfect. So
living the dream.
Yeah, thumbs up from. To be honest, if we get a thumbs up from Tony Ross, that's what we have to go with. It's as simple as that.
That.
It's the way it works. So we're down to 3. So unfortunately, it's Martin Rigvalt that misses out on the medal, but it means we have 3 medals that are going to be going to the Czech Republic, to Estonia, and to Russia this month.
Wow.
Meanwhile, in the PLO, we have a money bubble. It's gone. So Mikhail Kirillov from Russia unfortunately missed out. We're now down to 12 players already in that, so we'll keep an eye on that. None of the kind of the UK heroes, I guess, that the guys will be following are bust yet, so they're all still going strong. Michael raises it up again. Roman repops it this time. Let's see what Michael decides to do. He'd already raised it up to 150,000, and lets this one go. This is going to be a good three-handed battle, I think. Here, they're all now very even stacks. 2.2 million, 2.5 million, 2.8 million. So nothing much in it. Blinds are 35,000 and 70,000. The guys now are all guaranteed 4-figure score. So it's $1,030 for third, $1,475 for second, and $2,130 up top.
Absolutely fantastic.
So Michael made up the small blind. Roman from the big blind just re-pops it up, and Michael gets out the way. Again, there's some players that will say that's kind of a leak in the game, trying to just see a cheap flop and then fold into a raise. I don't really know whether that's the case all the time. Some of our strategy guys might well have a view on that. It's been interesting the last 18 months with the guys that we've had on the show, listening to their views on poker and the way they play, and picking up little snippets of strategy and information, and about how they play the game, and where they see leaks in their game, or where they see leaks in other players' games that they can exploit. And certainly around playing the blinds is always gets discussed.
Yeah.
And having the ability, and certainly in even more so in Omaha, but it works similarly in No Limit Hold'em as well.
Well, I think
overplaying your blinds.
Anybody who's ever used Poker Tracker, that is the first statistic that screams out from even a very small sample size of hands. People just making up the big blind, or raising from the big blind, or whatever it is. You just waste so much money overplaying your blinds, as you said, Lee. But one thing that I've definitely learned from the amount of very bright poker people that we've had on over the year and a half is that the gap between a true recreational player whose sole objective is to have fun and a player who knows what they're doing, it's enormous. There's no way the recreational player appreciates just how big that gap is.
Oh, I would tend to agree with that.
Which is not to say, and that's the beauty of this game. You can still win a tourney, right? You can still win.
But
that's the beauty. But
it's not even just a case you can win a tournament. I think you can bridge that gap.
Oh, you can through knowledge.
If you want to put the time and effort in, it's not a case of it's kind of going. It's not like saying I've rocked up at Wimbledon and bloody hell, Federer's good. I'm never going to get there. There is things you can do quite quickly to bridge a lot of those gaps and improve your game. And it's about experience and finding that balance. Again, we were chatting to David Lappin last week, and and one of the questions I put to him was, well, how much of your week do you spend playing and how much of your week do you spend writing or studying or working on the game. And it's amazing actually how split that is of his week. You know, he does a lot of media stuff. He's got a lot of media commitments, whether it be the podcast or the vlog that they do, or the writing that he does. But very much it was playing and content and training and working on the game is probably equally split three ways.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of what you need to do. He'll tag stuff. We were watching him play a game, and there was a particular hand that we were talking about with him, and he said, well, yeah, I flagged that because I'm going to go and look at it again afterwards. And that's how good players get better, by looking at those situations. So when they're in that situation again somewhere down the line, they'll make a better decision, or a more informed decision as to playing as optimum as they can. As we've got an all in and a call, it's King 10 versus Ace 10.
Roman's in
for
trouble
Roman,
here.
Really, he's in a whole heap of bother here, and we're going to lose Roman. Chip leader going into day 2 in 3rd place, bronze medal position. He's going to pick up $1,030, and we are heads up. It's Inigo Navarro from Estonia versus Michael Falar from the Czech Republic. Good luck to the both of them.
It's been a good game, Lee. I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, it's there's been poker. It's gone reasonably quick actually, even though the guys are still fairly deep. Inigo's there sat on over 50 bigs. Michael's got about 40 bigs himself, so plenty of play. But there's certainly looks like there's going to be they're not hanging about here, are they?
They certainly are not.
Just getting the results in for the week as well, so we'll be able to confirm leaderboards once both of these tournaments finish tonight. Interestingly, the results from yesterday up to the last 2 tables of both of these tournaments hadn't affected the very top of the table, so we'll see whether as these ones go in, whether they do impact on anything. I know Dan Houston had 3. This was the third of his cashes on a Sunday night, effectively.
Yeah.
Superb performance.
Interestingly, just in other news, very briefly, that young British tennis player, 3-3 in the first set, live as we speak.
Superb. Even just to make day, week, so the second week of Wimbledon is pretty impressive, isn't it?
Very, very. If she wins today, she gets over like 300 grand, £1,000 in prize money. That's how important it is.
I'm right in saying she's just doing her A levels, or
yeah. I think she's just down the road. I think she's in Surrey here.
Okay.
It's pretty impressive.
So stacks have stayed fairly much the same so far. Just been moving chips around a little bit. We're down to 11 in the PLO now, so that will play 7-handed final table. So that might actually well play a 7-handed final. I don't think there'll be any reason for it not to. So when we get there, Igor Asimov is 3rd in chips at the moment in that. Andy Heath is 6th. Richard Rudling Smith is 7th. Yanni is 8th. So good luck to those guys. Currently, Nick van Engelenberg is chip leader from the Netherlands at the moment.
And it goes 9 is going to be good enough to take that. He's got about a 2.3 million chip advantage here. Michael with the small raise. We get to see a flop. Ace Jack Deuce. And we see a fold from Inigo from Michael's raise. It just takes him over 3 million.
As I say, there's plenty of let me flick it to the big so you can just see. So there you go. So
huge amount of play.
It's either going to be two big hands are going to collide, or certainly are going to connect with a flop, which might make players. But even then, I don't think these two guys are going to go. They're going to go too crazy for a little while anyway. Maybe a couple of levels at least. So I think so unless we see two big hands collide, we're just going to see a little bit of poker. Absolutely. I think for a little while.
Let me just make this a little bit bigger on the screen. So it's all gone pretty calm, Lee.
Yeah, it's interesting bet there from Inigo on the river. Put 12.5 bigs into a pot of 9.5. It kind of always kind of feels it's more strength than it is trying to steal it, doesn't it?
Indeed.
So we've just been joined by Ilfracombe #1 in the chat saying, "I'm in at last." FFS. I can't think who that might be.
I don't know, but is he the guy that recently bought that Enigma machine on eBay?
Yeah.
He got the last one in the country for $400,000. Welcome, Ilfracombe's. I'm going to call him Ilfracombe's finest.
It's a hotbed of poker, isn't it, Ilfracombe?
Oh, it is.
It really is.
They nearly all have medals.
Yeah, not quite all of them, but we blame the postal service for anyone that doesn't. So, yeah.
Good to see you in, sir.
Absolutely. So the plan is obviously that we're going to carry on weekly streaming on Twitch, and also there's on this channel. If you hadn't subscribed to this channel before, so this is the Twitch Poker channel. So this is where the home of stuff like the Orbit. And it'll be the home of Orbit Extra and a couple of other new shows that are going to be coming out soon. So well worth being subscribed to this channel and just hitting the notification little tick box so you get told when the channel's going to be going live. We've also streamed some really cool rec poker stuff from the States with the guys there. That's kind of late night in the UK and Europe, but plenty of good content on here. So if you're ever playing a session in an evening and want something on in the background, then you can do far worse than sticking this channel on and seeing what's going on. There'll always be something playing here, so well worth checking it out.
So Michael has been super patient here.
Yeah, there's no need to rush with it really, and as Baba says, yeah, he's good enough. Yeah, very much he's shown that on this final table. I mean, he came into day 2 with 4th in chips, so it's clearly done well on the day 1, and hasn't really done a huge amount wrong on this day 2 and this final table so far. So we're down to 9 in the Omaha now. Still not lost any of our so-called APAT heroes, which means we might have 1 or 2 of them on the final table to chat through. And now we've got Yanni in the actual chat. I mean, this is gonna be award-winning entertainment for the rest of the night. Strap yourselves in, folks.
Yeah, but how do we know it's him? How do we actually know, Lee? He might be some sort of fraudster who's just nicked that Ilfracombe #1 title. Do you know what I mean? How do we know it's him?
Could well be.
I'd heard he had a weak password. I mean, it's highly likely, right?
Interesting flop here. 6, 7, 10 of clubs. It's gone check, check. I mean, there's hardly anything in the pot. So the 4 of hearts on the turn's not really going to, I think, make this too exciting. So Michael decides to have a little bit of a stab at it. And yeah, it's going to get that through.
The issue maybe that Michael is going to have here is that because he's been so patient, you know, when eventually he does get a bet in, Inigo's just not going to play along.
No, I completely agree.
You know, so I guess what I'm saying is he's not mixing it up. He's not changing the pace to confuse Inigo.
No. So payouts with 2 players remaining. So second place is picking up $1,475 and the winner will pick up $2,131. So they're playing for about $650 between second and first now. So on we go again. Keeping an eye. We're down to 9 in the Omaha as well. Which we will once this plays to its conclusion, we will flick over to the Omaha and see that out. So Yanni's in the chat saying he earned that title. I'm curious to know. Have you got to live in Ilfracombe to be able to go for that title, or can you just sort of visit and try and claim a win?
Oh. Lee, I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. Where do I come from?
Oh, goodness me.
Come on, guys. You out there in the chat box. I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. She took me in and gave me breakfast. I think that's the lyric. Where do I come from?
Oh, okay. I think I know. I won't say it because if they see whether the guys are going to go in chat.
Just came into my mind. The strangest things. I have no idea why.
Bizarre. Yeah. I think I know.
Max Sally straight in there.
Yeah.
I met a strange lady. She made me nervous. Great song.
For some reason, I had pulp common people in my head to start with.
Really? There's nothing common about those boys.
I've no idea why, but it was.
She took me in and gave me breakfast. I come from a land down under. Great song. There's I can't remember the guy who sang that. Men at Work, obviously Scottish guy, and he does an acoustic version. Has done over the last couple of years. The acoustic version is great. You know, it's really, really good. You get to a certain age, you can't rock out to these things anymore.
No, definitely not. So yeah, so apparently for the Ilfracombe thing, yeah, you have to turn up drunk in the welly and demolish everyone. And apparently Yanni won the Christmas pub game and bought his own trophy. Yeah.
I heard that on the internet. It was in the Ilfracombe Post as well. I'm sure it was
true then. Must be true. Yeah. This has kind of leveled itself out a little bit here. Michael's just sort of chipped up a little bit and has now got 35 bigs, and Inigo's got just over 40. So yeah, this is very much leveled itself out. Michael just chipping away at the moment, but as I said, I felt there was some poker to be played in this, if unless we saw 2 big hands, because neither of them are going to give this up lightly, and both not being cautious at this final table, but certainly have say not made any mistakes or with any of the spots that they oh crikey, I've just seen it.
I'm gonna respond.
Are you gonna respond? Yeah,
you betcha.
You bet your life. So we have a group chat, guys, for anyone that's wondering what Des and I are talking about, with a lot of the guys that's helped us out during the World Championship of Amateur Poker. So with the team of guys that came on and supported there. And I put a message up earlier on just saying if anyone wanted to come on, join us on the show tonight, we'll chat for them. They were all a little bit busy and doing other things, but we've just had a message from one of them saying, I'm home and logged on. Am I too late? So we should have a guest joining us shortly. As I just add a little bit of light to my setup here, because it's starting to get a little bit dark here with the rain and everything. So
wow, it's dark here, Lee.
Yeah, it's just this is glorious Dorset sunshine for you.
Fantastic.
Not really happening, but well, Michael's now taking the chip lead. So that's where we've got to.
Wow, it's impressive. It's impressive to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's not going to lower our broadband cost, but it's impressive to watch.
Yeah, that sounds like a knock at the studio door, Des, I think. So yeah.
Let's see if he shows up. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. There's an intruder, Lee. Call the police quickly. There's an intruder.
Security. Yeah.
It's hello, Stuart Anthony Ward. Everyone, welcome to the stream, Stu.
How are we all? We all right?
Yeah, we're pretty good. Is it positively nighttime wherever you are?
It's getting there. Is it dark?
Well, it's pretty dark here in London. I mean, Lee's still got daylight down there on the south coast. I think that's the light of France coming in through his window.
It's Matt Dale. That's what it is. It's Matt's beaming his torch. Yeah.
I kid you not. You mentioned Matt Dale, right? I had a call from a guy today who I used to work with previously, and I kid you not, he started a casino about 3 or 4 years ago, and I advised him from time to time, and he said, "Yeah, I'm getting a small group of people together down in Saint-Tropez at the end of September. There'll be a few bankers, there'll be a few operators. Will you come down and just 20 or 30 people for a networking event?" I thought, yeah, I can do that. I can drop in on Matt Dale.
Lovely.
Absolutely, why not?
Yeah,
sure he would.
Yeah, absolutely. It's lovely to see Matt actually back, getting bookings, and
he's happy, isn't he?
And getting some stuff on, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So anyone that doesn't know, so Matt's part of the APAT management team, but he also runs a water sports and holiday business down in Saint-Tropez, so adventure sports. Saint-Tropez. If you go and check it out on the Tinterweb, well worth looking at. And Matt, if you'd fancy a holiday down there, Matt will properly look after you. He's got a watch that can dive to 50 meters and everything. So
it's a Casio. So it's an absolute aquatic brand.
You will be well looked after, so it won't be a problem whatsoever. So let me give you a catch up, Stu, on what you've missed. We went from 16 players down to 2 in the space of an hour and 40 minutes. So we are heads up in the No Limit Hold'em event. Second place is $1,475. Top prize is $2,131, obviously. And as you know, silver and gold medals for these two guys as well. Roman Matveychuk from Russia finished in the bronze medal position. So this has been quite good, though. Both these guys were in the top 4 stacks coming through today too. So they've both been at the top of pretty much the duration. We're also down to 9 players in the PLO, so 2 more to bust, and we'll be on a final table of that. And there's some names you might recognise in that one, Stu. So as soon as this heads up play to its conclusion, we will switch over to the Omaha, and we will follow that.
It just feels like you're going to say Gordon MacArthur, because every time you say there's names you might recognise.
That's right.
No, it's a Gordon free zone on day 2.
Oh, excellent
for a change. But Richard Rudling Smith is there, Yanni's there, Igor Asimov is there, Andy Heath is there in the PLO. So we've got all that to come once Inigo and Michael play this out to a conclusion. Now this has swung both ways. So Inigo started chip leader, sort of 4 million to 3, maybe something like that, 3 and a bit. Michael then was chipping away and took the chip lead. It's now swung back in Inigo's favor. So he's now got sort of 50 big blinds to Michael's 25. This is probably the biggest gap there's been between the two of them in this heads-up match so far. So it's now pretty much a 2-1 chip lead for Inigo.
Yeah, he's still got 24 bigs. It's still a decent amount. There's no need to press the big red panic button yet, I don't think. But
he's been
that's
super
what we were
patient.
saying, Stu. Yeah, it's been a very patient final table. Although we did fly through them quite quickly.
Yeah.
Dan Austin was on this final table earlier on as well, so he had a decent cash. Rob Green also finished in 6th. So some decent runs for some of these players. But these guys just haven't really seen many mistakes made. It's been steady, thoughtful poker, and as I said about 15 minutes ago, I felt very much, unless there was going to be two hands colliding here, we were going to see a bit of poker play out between these guys, and that's
it's good to see, because sometimes heads up you just see chips flying about like everywhere, and it all goes a bit nuts. It's good to see them both like sitting there and probably think about what they're doing and not going absolutely wild. So I won't lie, heads up, I don't like folding. So they obviously they're not fussed about seeing flops. They're just going to sit there and wait for their spot, and they're going to take it.
Yeah, and we've seen some interesting stories. We've seen a player go from one big blind with 2 tables out and managed to get that all the way up to sort of 10 bigs in the case of 2 or 3 hands. And
we like that. Yeah, we like that.
It's been a good one so far. So you were out coaching the kids at cricket earlier.
The under 17s. Yeah, we got absolutely rolled by the areas like kind of big boys.
Oh, it's all in the call. 10s versus jacks. Well, we said it was going to happen like that.
Look at the flop though, Lee.
10 for Michael.
No.
And it's not going to happen.
Wow.
And so Michael Falar from the Czech Republic is going to finish in 2nd place, picking up $1,475. But our main event winner, No Limit Holder main event winner for effectively June, is going to be Inigo Navarro from Estonia, who's going to pick up $2,131 plus the APAT gold medal. So superb effort from all of them. We will jump straight over to the Omaha, which is now down to 9 players. So we're still playing 2 tables before we hit this final table.
Lee, why does it look like it's midday outside your window?
It's mad, isn't it? It's absolutely mad.
It's living on the south coast.
I know I live in the grim north, but
I mean, they're already robbing people up in your part of the country, aren't they?
It's like, honestly, it's like what's that one where they go and kill people like once a year? It's
exactly.
Like that'll be, honestly.
That's going on now up there in the northeast, and
we've got the shutters down, and the sentry guns are out and stuff.
It's like the Purge.
Purge, that's the one.
Stu, as I said to Des when we came on the show, I said it's nice to do APAT show in the daylight, but it is chucking it down, and it is chucking it down with rain here. So that is bright with and it's absolutely throwing it down. It has done for the last couple of hours.
The rain didn't save us. We were literally stood there. It looked like the end of the world, like over the pavilion, and it just never turned up. It was
I'll
really.
Tell you what, Stu, I reckon for the effect on the cameras, Lee's got some sort of 10 megawatt lighting system in the background. It's probably pitch dark out there, but he's got this megawatt lighting system. It's bringing plants up all over the place.
Lee is positively glowing over there, isn't he? Yes. I mean, I am. That's because I've got sunburn from playing cricket yesterday. In the 30 minutes, we had sun before it started lightning, and we spent the whole game going on and off pushing bloody covers for 4 hours.
Oh, it's no good. It's no good.
So we are playing hand for hand now in this Omaha game because we are down to 8 players. So we've lost Joachim from Austria. So we're playing hand for hand for this final table now. Always nice to make a final table. So they're all going to hang on. And as I say, we've got Igor still in here. We've got Rudders. We've got Andy Heath. We've got Yanni. So plenty of names on here, and there's plenty of people in the chat that are railing these guys.
Fantastic.
Top prize tonight in the PLO is over $1,000, Stu.
Nice.
It's $1,114, and of course with the PLO, same as the No Limit Hold'em, there's APAT medals for the top 3 places as well. So there's a nice bit of cash. These guys are all guaranteed now $140, $55 buy-in. But again, you could satellite into this, feeder in for $5.50 during the week last week, and we'll be doing it all again this week with a normal schedule. which will be these events, one-day events on a Sunday, but you can satellite in for $3.30 and every single day of the week. So
fantastic.
Them satellites are such good value as well.
Good value.
Well,
good
really
value.
are.
$1,000 up top. What would you do with it, Stu? So outside of a couple of saddlebags of wine from Aldi, what would you do with $1,000 right now? What would you have?
Well, you've got me beat there, really. I mean, I've spent like the last month working 60-hour weeks.
Oh,
so
my God. Oh, lad.
All I've got to live on is saddlebags of wine from Aldi.
I tell you what, it sounds like a nice weekend away somewhere then. Somewhere with its own light source. Amazing.
Yeah. It probably cost me £1,000 to go and see Lee on the train, so I might just I'd spend it on that.
I tell you, you're not kidding, are you? We haven't discussed that at all. Yeah. We've discussed many things over the last 24 hours, but apparently the price of holidays in the UK has been like doubled and tripled all over the place.
Gone silly. As I mentioned last night, when somebody had told me the price of hotels on the Strip in Vegas has gone through the roof. At the same time, if you want to book anything in the UK at the moment, they are fleecing you left, right, and center. So, Stu, have you been with all the work? Have you managed to follow the football, or have you been pretty much just?
I've been off for 2 days. Luckily, I'm like best mates with the head chef, which is nice. So I tend, if basically, I've been to a few games with him because he wants someone to drink with. The last game we were watching on our phones in the kitchen.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm due to work Wednesday, but we're hoping it's going to be absolutely dead, so I might get the night off so I can go to the pub with them again.
Surely it's going to be, because I mean, where you work doesn't show any sport or anything like that, does it? So
no, we haven't got. Well, we've got a TV. It's just never been turned on.
Yeah.
No, it's great because the customers were getting updates.
But I'm surprised somebody's not thought of turning the TV on, because that would probably please a lot of your maybe it wouldn't, because maybe those that have decided to book and go anywhere. Oh yeah.
We basically had a bunch of like middle-aged women coming in and ordering medium well done chateaus and stuff. It's like there was definitely people that are not interested in watching the football.
Yeah, that is fair enough.
There are some out there. There genuinely are. As much as Natalie Bromley doesn't believe there are people that don't follow the football, there genuinely are. So
on Saturday when we played the quarterfinal, we did 120 people in an hour.
Oh my God!
Between 5 and 6, and then did like 50 for the rest of the night.
Yeah, you'd have thought it would have been quiet, but there you go. They're getting away from it.
The 5 and 6 is like basically just like, I mean, that was like hellishly busy because people were basically going out for a steak and then going somewhere to watch the match and get drunk. Yeah. And then you had the other ones who come in and just want to sit there and and get away from it, and which I don't understand. Yeah. Don't go wrong. They knew fine well what the score was because we were making some noise in that kitchen. Because we had nothing else to do than shout at the football.
Quietly, though, telly is overrated. I mean, sometimes the best way to catch a match is through the radio.
Oh, I miss those days.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Listening to Middlesbrough on like BBC, because every match is available online, even the Championship nowadays. And like, I used to love just sitting there and listening to like. I mean, it's like with cricket. I actually prefer listening to like Test match special than I do watching it sometimes because the commentary is so good.
It's just a different level on the radio. They've got to describe stuff to you, and that really brings you there. Yeah, I've great memories of. I mean,
I grew up obviously before 5 Live in the UK was on where all the sport is now, because it used to be Radio 2 on a Saturday afternoon. And that was and that was what all you had to listen to, and you had that and all the scores on teletext.
As a Borough fan, we had to listen to like the local station TFM for like an update every 30 minutes or something. I can remember being sat in the car with going somewhere with parents and like listening to the radio in the car and stuff. And it's like nowadays you can just watch every match like online. Yeah. It's kids. They don't know the born kids nowadays. They don't know the born. Admit,
I've kind of got I changed my car about 18 months ago, and it had DAB built in now, so it means I can now listen to Talk Sport. I must admit, it's kind of become my kind of go-to.
I do like Talk
every time, every day in the car.
And it's
but there's a lot of shit on there, Lee. I hate to say it. I hate to say it.
But to be honest, I don't listen to it. I don't go out that often, so it's like once or twice a week that I'm out. But it is just doing that, listening to that. It's
every day driving to and from work. I've got Talk Sport. I mean,
there's a couple of old boys. I can't remember the name now. You mention them, and I'll know them straight away. A couple of old boys around midday that do some stuff on there.
Hawksby and Jacobs.
Yeah, and they remind me of Lee and myself. So I love them. They're great, but they're like awful at the same time. But they're great.
Hawksby and Jacobs are entertaining. I'm not in that. Come on.
They're fantastic. No, they're fantastic. I love them.
Yeah,
they're just laughing at each other.
Yeah.
Nobody else is in on the joke. It's brilliant.
Yeah, but it's good because that makes you laugh anyway. Because it's just like, honestly, I love that kind of thing. I absolutely love it. When I'm trying to work on a mine, you got Alan Brazil on a mine, like turning up drunk, allegedly, to work.
Yeah, when he turns up, because he doesn't always turn up.
Well, exactly. Yeah, which is even better. I wish I could do that at work. Sorry, I've been out the night before and I don't know where I am.
Well, I even find weirdly the ex-Palace owner
Simon Jordan.
Simon John's really good.
He's brilliant. Love him.
Really good. Yeah, he speaks so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds like a bit of a pretentious tit when he says it, but he because he's obviously got that posh voice and stuff. But he speaks so much sense.
I love it though when he's looking down like on the Man United owners and stuff. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's great. Isn't it?
I'll tell you what they're doing. They're taking all of the money out of the game. They're taking all of the money out of the game. They're not investing in anything. Infrastructure.
Yeah, it's great.
Players. Ollie needs to go.
A man who probably spends more money on a haircut than people do on the weekly shopping.
How did he make his money in the first place before he got involved in Crystal Palace?
Had to be selling phones or something like that, didn't it?
I think it was housing. I don't know.
It's a Nokia 3310, right? 33. The battery lasts an incredible 90 minutes. 90 minutes of battery life. £45 a month.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? 90 minutes of battery life. Man dies after about 3 seconds of taking out the charger.
So, Stu, are England going to do it? Is it?
Yes.
It is
yes.
coming home.
Like,
then, yeah.
And as much as I know that, because I know a lot, we're in a betting syndicate with people, and some of the Welsh people, one of whom you mentioned, made a final table or something earlier, has been loving wasting our money betting on like England plus 22 and stuff. You're like, so and so to win, England to lose every game type of thing. But yeah, honestly, I just think that we haven't conceded a goal yet in the tournament. We're dangerous going forward. I don't think Italy, if we get play Italy in the final, I don't think they're 36 and 34 centre halves. We're going to want us like the pace we've got running at them.
Listen, I'll tell you something, Stu. I'll tell you something. The real jewel in England's crown is Southgate, because there is a danger that a lot of England fans will think, do you know what? All we have to do is to turn up. Now, granted, nobody really believes that, but I think they'll feel super confident that Denmark are going to be another 2-0, 3-0, which might become a 2-1, but to be honest, not really a problem. And Spain have been playing a bit so-so, and Italy, frankly, are over-emotional. They're going to defend a bit. And,
they're old.
So but I don't think at all, I don't think there's any way that Gareth Southgate allows that thinking. Despite what every previous manager has ever said about this sort of stuff, I think Southgate, what you see is what you get. He is just...
He's emotionally brilliant. Level.
Love him.
Which is what the country needs, because the rest of us are going nuts.
Yeah.
But the manager is there, and he's not getting too high, he's not getting too low, and he's like... He knows what needs to be done. I know Peter has slagged off his team selection and said we're negative and stuff,
Bugger them.
He's
what
getting
do they
results.
Know?
It's about results. That's all that matters.
Gareth Southgate is obviously former Borough captain, raised our first trophy in our history.
He's magnificent.
Former Borough manager, got sacked when we were second in the league. Slightly harsh, looking back on it, but no, he's a legend for us.
Do you think though, is he going to put the same? Will he put the same 11 out against Denmark, or do you think?
I don't think he will. I think he treats every game separately as he should, and he basically he will sit there and he go, "This is the best team to win this game."
Well, I
certainly think if you get past Denmark, I certainly think whichever team you play in the final, it will be two different teams. So if it's Spain or Italy, he will have a team for each.
He'll have a plan. Yeah. Do you know what I think his best decision was of this entire championship so far?
Dropping John Henderson, not playing him.
No, I think. Look, but hasn't it been brilliant the way he's brought some of those players who aren't obviously in the first 13, 14, how he's brought them in, given them a game, they all feel part of it, so that if he needs to turn to one in a semi-final or in a final, he knows they'll feel part of it. I think he's been a genius. But I think, and I haven't heard anybody mention this, I think his biggest and best decision so far in the Euros was dropping Dominic Calvert-Lewin out of the 23 to play Germany, because you had Kane coming into that game on the back of 3 scoreless games. Huge amount of pressure on Southgate, starting to build in that, if Kane goes another 60, 70 minutes without a goal, there's going to be a lot of people saying, well, he needs to be replaced, right? You put a sub on, and if Calvert-Lewin scores a goal, that's got to be playing on Kane's mind, right? It's all about confidence. By actually Southgate not including him within the 23 for the Germany game, Kane goes onto that pitch knowing that the one player who, in theory, he's competing with for the 9 shirt isn't even in the 23.
It shows that confidence in Harry Kane.
It's the greatest,
and I'm sorry,
vote of confidence.
I know that the European Championships brings out a lot of what we call, I'm a boxing fan, what we call the casuals, who basically will jump on a bandwagon and whinge about everything. And I'm sorry, but people whinging about Harry Kane is ridiculous. The guy's the best strike. He's probably the best number 9 in the world at the minute, arguably.
Might be.
And for people to moan about him because he's not, he didn't score, and we didn't get him that much service.
Oh, it's not as if he's been missing chances.
Yeah, exactly. We just didn't get him the service. He got the service. He scored. He could have had a hat trick. That left foot volley was
in
unbelievable.
the same way. I'd said, everyone was raving about Sterling, and I was like, he's just tapped a few into the back of the net. He hasn't done a huge one, but ultimately they're all doing the right thing in the right.
I've heard people slacking off Raheem Sterling saying he's useless. Why is he starting? He's done nothing in Man City all season. And it's ridiculous. Raheem Sterling is a great player, and he scored goals for us when we need him to. And people it's very trendy to be negative, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day.
But the thing with England, Stu, is that you're in a very, very fortunate position. In that this squad, you look who you've got on the bench. The options he's got on the bench.
It's ridiculous.
So, once he picks his 11. The options he's got, if it isn't quite going the way he wants to do it, you've got, you can bring a Grealish on, a Sancho,
you got Grealish, Phil Foden sat on the bench.
Phil Foden can't get back into the team. If one of the 2 central midfield players that have been immense so far, Rice and Phillips, to think that you can bring on Jordan Henderson, not everybody's cup of tea, but ultimately, Liverpool captain has won stuff, knows how to see a game out.
Do a job.
I feel sorry for Mings. Started really, really well.
Tyrone Mings was our best defender of the first 2 games.
But isn't that the point? Isn't that the point, lads? Though, when these players come on, they don't come on with attitude. They come on feeling, hey, here's my minutes now. I got to play my 20 minutes now. I'm going to be happy days.
But when we beat Germany, the first pitch Gareth Southgate went to with the substitutes that hadn't been hadn't played and hadn't got on the pitch, and he was giving them all a hug. They've got a team spirit there and in team sport.
Chilwell,
that is what it's about.
Chilwell must be looking at it going, right, so I've just won the Champions League. I pretty much, it was a coin flip for who was going to start as left back. Can't
get on the team.
Can't get a minutes on the pitch because Luke Shaw's just gone, right, okay, after the first
He's
game.
been immense, by the way.
Isn't that weird? But isn't that weird, though? So if you remember the first game, so he played Trippier left back, and everyone went, what's going on here? What's this all about? But I think Shaw had a bit of a niggle, wasn't going to stop. And now it's okay. Well, you'd never drop Shaw from. Well, you'd like to think he would.
You just have to trust Southgate, right? Whatever he comes up with as the 11 to start against Denmark, you just have to trust that he's making his decisions based on what he's seeing behind the scenes, and that he's making smart decisions.
And ultimately, Des, that's his job.
Yeah, he's paid. He's paid to make decisions.
That's what he's paid to make those decisions. Now, people may not agree or disagree with him, but you get behind him and go, well, this guy's out there doing that.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You just got to support him at a point.
This is the problem. I mean, there's if you think about it, it's a squad of 26. You could name 3, 4, 5 other players that actually were unlucky not to get into that squad of 26. That's how much strength there is in depth here now.
Listen, the real scary thing here is not what's going to be happening in a week's time, right? It's that the World Cup is only a year and a half away. I mean, this team is going to be peaking for the World Cup.
As you say that, right? But I don't think we are. With that we've got that younger squad. So I don't think we are peaking next year.
No, the scary thing, I said it on the show last night, Stu, was that if you look at it and go, right, well, okay, how many have you got in this squad that are aging and might, might be playing their last tournament. And arguably, I think we came to the conclusion Walker was probably the kind of the oldest, that of the starting. Yeah, I mean, Henderson's getting on.
You say you appear to have not said Jordan Henderson there.
Yeah, well, but Henderson's not in the starting 11.
He's not in the 11, is
he? He's not. But we said that, and that's about it. And actually, Walker's not exactly old, is he?
Yeah.
it's frightening. It really is.
I'd Pickford. I'd try and find somebody else between the sticks other than Pickford. I think he's been brilliant. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's emotionally unstable.
Yeah, but he's our best shot stopper, and at the end of the day, I want my keeper to save shots.
I think if Dean Henderson can get a proper run of games at United, playing top level football, I still believe Henderson will be the England keeper.
That depends what happens at Man United, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, he's not played at the highest level yet.
Well, he was pretty much playing in the league for a chunk of games because De Gea had became a father, so he was given a bit of time off for that, and then De Gea played in the Europa League games, so we left him in. But it'll be interesting to see what happens next season with that, because I don't see how. Although it's this catch-22, isn't it? With the top sides is, well, you need two world-class goalkeepers, because if one gets injured, what are you going to do? You can't just have a dodgy reserve. But at the same time, it's nigh on impossible to keep two goalkeepers of any level of quality happy in a squad, because why would you be?
The thing is, like, every keeper makes mistakes. Look at David Seaman. He made mistakes, like when he got lobbed by Ronaldo from a million yards from a free kick and stuff. It's like every keeper's going to make mistakes. It's the nature of the job.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But all that I'm saying is he's your weakness right now, because you might suggest that the more we see of this England team, people might figure out that the way to get to Pickford is to go wide and just get crosses in, because I don't know if you know this, but he's really got very little arms.
Well, yeah, but you say this, but we haven't conceded this thing in this time because he's made some very good saves one-on-one.
He has very long shot-stopping arms, admittedly, but for crosses, tiny little Tyrannosaurus Rex.
He's a little T-Rex, isn't he? He's like this. But,
yeah, Tyrannosaurus. Just,
I'd take it. If he's going to keep keeping clean sheets, then whatever. I don't care how long his arms are.
Well, whilst we've been talking about the football, nothing has happened in the poker. We are still.
I've been watching it. Nothing's happening, Lee.
We are still 8 players left. We're playing hand for hand for this final table in this PLO day 2 of the PLO main event. 8 players remaining. All these guys are guaranteed $290, but we are sorry, not $290. I tell a lie, $140.
I don't know if you've noticed, but some of these players have 4 cards.
Which is it's cheating, isn't it?
Cheating, that, yeah.
Blinds are now 8,000, 16,000. So the likes of Larry Pashak here is now playing about 8 bigs. So Igor's also has got what's Igor got? About
12.
About 12 bigs, isn't he? So
11.2. Yeah.
There's a couple of 12. There's a couple of 12. That's an awkward stack in PLO because you can't get it all in. You got
Andy Heath's another one in that similar situation, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like just like you can pot, and then you obviously you put in like 4.5, 5 big blinds or whatever it is, and then you're down to 6 big blinds, and you can't make people fold the flop. It's a really awkward situation to be in PLO. Really awkward.
But as we've said when we've followed PLO all during lockdown with the APAT games, it is the game where you can get quite low on your number of big blinds you've got in your stack before it becomes a huge problem. So again, the players are all experienced. A lot of these guys will play regular Omaha games. They'll know that no need to panic here. We're just started getting into the point where the money really starts ramping up. There's over $1,000 up top. So when you've got this deep into the tournament with 8 players left, you're not going to make, you're not giving your chips away lightly here, are you?
No, definitely not. And like I say, it's like you can see flops, then you go from there. And that's why I love PLO, because there's so much play in the game. There's so much play in it.
So Igor raises into Richard Rudling-Smith's big blind, and Richard's going to make the call here. So we'll see a board of 9, 6, 8, and Richard checks it back to Igor, who checks as well. Again, it's nothing too crazy, is it really? It's just it's keeping it simple. And Richard decides to fire out a bet this time, about half the pot, which is 45,000. But obviously, Igor's only playing 130,000 behind, so it's a third of his stack. And he's gone into a secondary time bank to have a think about this.
It feels like a big decision here, Lee.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So he's drawing, presumably, and he didn't like the odds at the end.
No. So we've just lost Stu for a minute. He's just popped out the studio, so he will be back with us in a couple of minutes.
I think he's popped out just to see, you know, where all the lights gone to, Lee, because it's still bright down there.
I thought, come on, that's not
the hell.
too bad,
have you got floodlights? Is there a guy in a turret with a gun just out of camera shot?
It is a. We're very lucky. Is the back room in the house is a dual aspect. So you get plenty of light in here. So it's lovely. It's a lovely home office to work out of. And I say out of the window to the side there of just green fields and horses, and we're very very fortunate to live where we do. So,
fantastic. I'm still not convinced that Jen isn't sitting on the roof there with one of those torches, you know, that you can buy off Amazon for like 20 quid that you can only hold for about 90 seconds.
The ones that are so bright.
That's the one.
Yeah. Once you get on the X-Files, yeah, they're the ones.
Create your own North Star.
Very nice. Very nice too. This has been the longest hand for hand for a final table I think I've seen for
I've
ages.
never seen anything like this, ever.
Yeah. But it's all in. Larry's all in against Yanni. And Yanni had already flopped his straight, but Larry's got there, rivered the full house. Was holding jacks, and it was Jack 9 on the flop and another 9 on the river. Yanni had made the straight, and
unlucky Yanni.
And so he's doubled Larry up, and that's put Yanni effectively in that same position now, 130,000 stack with blinds at 8,000, 16,000. So it's Yanni that's now down about 9 bigs. So he's now got that tricky position. Yeah, the paired board for Larry was what he needed to beat the straight, and rivered that full house.
So come on, guys out there in the chat box. You've been watching this alongside us. It's time to pick your winner. Come on, time to pick your winner. Put it in the chat box, please. Let us see.
Yeah, does Stefan Gruber from Germany with 1.1 million in chips. He is the chip leader.
He is looking in good shape.
He's going to do that. He was second in chips coming into this day too. Is he going to see this through? The chip leader was Marcus Nord from Sweden. He's actually got about 30,000 less than he started the day with at the moment. So I'm not sure whether that's been a good hours play or not. I'm not quite sure. But
well,
still in with 8 left. Yeah,
still
exactly.
In.
Still in it with 8 left. That's all that matters, isn't it, really? That is all that matters. So yeah, we're still hand for hand here. This is the final event of our championship weekend. Our championship weekend runs from a Thursday to a Sunday with 2 main events that are both 2-dayers, so they conclude on the Monday night. We run this pretty much. It tends to work now that it's the first weekend of the month. It used to be the last weekend of the month, but sometimes it can flex between the two. It's basically increased buy-ins, increased guarantees of our normal weekly structure and schedule. You can go and check that out at apat.com. Go and have a look at the online schedule there. You'll see all the tournaments that we play each week. You can jump into one now. I think that's probably late reg still open on the 8 o'clock game. Yeah, there is only just about another 20 minutes of that. So if you fancy playing an APAT game tonight, there's a $5.50 PLO8 game that is currently running. If you want to jump into that and try and get yourself onto the leaderboard for this week, we run weekly leaderboard ladders where we give away added value tickets to the top 20 players on that at the end of each week. So if you fancy giving that a go, another thing you need to do, obviously register your details with apat.com. So we've got your details for any added value that you get. But other than that, just go and find all the games in the APAT tab in the Party Poker lobby and get playing.
You'll get our sort of monthly newsletter as well, guys. If you take out our free membership on the website, and of course, you'll be amongst the first to hear about our schedule when we're in a position to talk about our schedule. Lots of people are waiting that.
Hello.
Hey, you're back Stu, you've come back. You've come back.
Yeah, the internet had a bit of a fit.
Well, everyone's been using it quite a lot for the last 18 months, haven't they?
True.
It's at some point it's going to say I've had enough. I need a holiday. Yeah.
There was a very large clash of lightning, and then everything went offline. Apparently,
that was probably a petrol bomb. Stu,
don't even get me. If I told you the conversations I had with Des last Thursday, you would not believe the conversations. We were due to record a new show for, funnily enough, for this channel for Twitch Poker last Thursday, and we'd been in meetings during the day. So I'd been on the internet. We'd been on a Zoom call and doing bits and pieces. So we were due to record this thing at 8 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock that night, heard a plane come over, and then a big bang, and a house alarm go off. And Jen came up and said, "Did you hear that bang?" I was like, "Yeah, what was that?" Couldn't work out what it was. And I looked back across at my monitor and went, "Oh, my monitor's gone to sleep quick." Oh, no, it hasn't. Power had gone off. So I was like, "Okay, this isn't good." So I messaged Des again, "No panic, but I know we're recording in 2 hours' time, but I currently have no power." So we'll work on what we're going to do. Of course, So decided to take the dogs out for a walk, walking back through, and bumped into the electrical engineers that were at the end of the road, both looking up, scratching their heads at this wooden mast electrical pole at the end of the road, where something had gone into it or hit it and done all three of the
lines,
isolation line, and basically it said, "I've never seen anything like it. It's just completely blown." The power had come back on. They'd reworked it round, but basically we knew they were going to have to then cut it off again at some point that night to repair the damage that were done. They were still going. They eventually cut the power off again about 10 o'clock that night, which is a good job. We decided to reschedule the recording. But the power didn't come back on before we went to bed at sort of 12:30, 1 in the morning. So they obviously it was a big task. But I don't know whether they reckon a bird hit it or something landed, something fell from the plane that was coming over or what. No idea what it was. But it was just weird.
I went downstairs and swore a couple of times and kicked the router, and it appears to have sorted itself out.
Well, there's supposed to be some thunderstorms coming into the UK, aren't there, in the next day or two?
You say yesterday was crazy. It was like lightning with cricket. If you get a flash of lightning, you've got to go off the pitch for half an hour until it's it's half an hour and like after the last clash of thunder or lightning bolts been seen. We were off like 3 times. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
I don't know if I can.
Luckily, we got rained off in the end anyway, so we just went to the bar and had a load of beer, which was nice.
Blinds have gone to 10,000, 20,000. Yanni here is now sat on 93k, so he's now got less than five bigs. Andy Heath has only got 6 bigs himself, and Igor, what's he on about? 8 bigs.
Yeah,
and Larry's got 9. So yeah, these guys are really struggling. Of course, what it does mean is that some of the other players have been hoovering up some chips quite nicely. Stefan Gruber, our chip leader, has now got up to nearly 1.3 million. Obviously, it's perfect when these guys are playing hand for hand and they're all wanting to make the final table. They're obviously in the money, but wanting to make this final table, Stu, if you're a big stack, you can take advantage of the situation, can't you?
You think, especially on the table that's only got Igor with the 7.6 bigs, you think that they can put a lot of pressure on because you can't really blink without having a massive hand. Yeah, he's got to have a massive hand to get involved with the other two
shots.
Here it is,
Yanni against Stefan, and Stefan's hit. Oh. However, he's hit.
Straight.
Stefan takes it.
Yeah. To bear 2 pair, kings and threes, yeah.
Kings and threes beats the Jackson 10.
God bless Omaha.
Exactly. Yeah. We're both looking at it going, well, was it a straight? No, it isn't a straight. So
it can't be a straight, no.
It can't possibly be a straight. So unlucky to Yanni. He is very much the number 1 player in Ilfracombe, but unfortunately, as far goes, he's not good enough for a final table.
That's
tonight.
right. Unfortunately, globally, that means nothing.
Yeah. I just didn't feel Stefan Gruber was sat there going, shit, that's the best player in Ilfracombe there. I don't know whether I want to play this hand. I don't feel he was doing that. So we're going to just get to this final table now. So Des will just, I'll close those tables down and open up the final table. And we're down to 7. So hopefully that might mean now we're not hand for hand. That might...
I would think that there's going to be 2 or 3 people now who are going to be willing to get the chips in.
Can we share the table from you, Lee?
Yeah, I can do if you want. Bear with me a second.
It'd be better quality.
It's there for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So you got 3 people below 10 big blinds now. I think they're going to be the ones that are going to be...
Yeah, let me switch it to the bigs so you can see. There we go.
Okay.
So Robert there immediately just goes pot pre-flop, and gets it through. So he's picked up a couple of big blinds there. I mean, Stefan being sat to the direct left of 2 of the all 3 of the short stacks is a bit of a nightmare for them.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Obviously, it's a random seat draw for the final table, and sometimes you can sit down and go, oh bugger. That's not really what I wanted. Yeah. I
mean, he can afford to lose the 7 bigs, from 2 of them, and just kind of take a. No, I don't want to say a punt, but have a bit of a wider opening, a bit of a wider calling range than you might usually have. An opening into his big blind is going to be risky, I'd have thought.
Now, Rudders is just so we've been quiet. We've been watching this now for a little while, and we've not really mentioned him. He's quietly just been kind of going about. Second in chips, and he's
he knows this game inside out, doesn't he?
As you say, certainly knows his Omaha game very, very well. You'll for those that played APAT with us regularly, you'll know Richard has been a regular member of the Welsh team that played in a number of our international championships and been very, very successful. But that aside, when he's played individually in tournaments with APAT, does very, very well.
I think you'll notice his opening sizes will probably be a bit smaller than other people's as well. You realise you don't have to press the pot button when you're opening in Omaha. You can still open to 2.2, 2.5, and still get the same result. Which a lot of people just think, oh, I need to press pot because it's Omaha.
It is the thing with people when they're new to it. It is kind of the amount of players that feel it's either pot or fold.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's incredible. Yeah,
we've all been there. I mean, when I first started playing, it's like, oh, I'm just going to press the pot button. Yeah, pot, and then you realise that I can get the same answer for 2 big blinds less or whatever it is than.
But it's interesting that there is a difference with that. That's very much an online thing. You then tend to find if you then go and play Omaha live. The people tend to pot less, and they tend to pot less because they actually don't know what how much the pot is. Whereas when you're online, it tells you what it's going to be.
Well, I always think that's the dealer's job. You just basically you say live, you just say pot and let the dealer deal with it. You watch their head fall off as opposed to anything else.
But what if they say that's another 100,000 then, please, Mr. Ward? And you go, shit.
Then you basically act like you knew that, and you put the
you just push them forward.
You just put the chips in. You look confident, and you pray like hell that someone doesn't say pot.
That's how much I meant to raise. Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
So Stuart Ward puts 100,000 in, and he leaves 7,000 back.
Yep, I knew that. Obviously, I was committing myself this hand. I didn't realize I was, but never mind.
It's but Omaha's, as I say, playing live is a whole different thing. Again, it's even watching players on how they handle 4 cards. The amount of times I've seen players that will split them into 2-2s.
2 Omaha, 2 Hold'em hands and stuff.
Treat them like that. Yeah, because it's just easier to manage.
A lot of players. I say it's a game that not a lot of people play, and when you do play like the early stages of tournaments like this one, you do see a lot of people kind of going, "Well, I've got Ace King suited. Okay, let's go," and then basically calling off with a bag of spanners with it, and it's like,
well, you've turned your hand from an Omaha hand into a no limit Hold'em, or a Hold'em hand, haven't you?
Which puts you at a disadvantage because you're playing with 2 cards and they're playing with 4. Like, I mean, I played one of the GUK side events at Stockton G, and I called a guy's out I've he's potted, I've raised, he's got all in. I've called it off with like 10 Jack Queen King double suited. And he couldn't figure out why his ace 3-8 with no suits lost. And I was like, because I've got a really nice Omar hand, my friend. I've got look at all the things I can hit. You've got a pair of aces.
Yeah, you're not. How often are you going to improve with a? That's not to say that a pair of aces doesn't win quite a lot.
Well, don't get me wrong. I see a pair of aces Omar, I'm probably going to be stubborn, but you've got to realise that sometimes people have got like big double suited rundowns and stuff.
The fact is, you're not. It's a lot harder to improve your hand.
Yeah.
If you've got ace 8-3, it's a lot harder to improve on your pair of aces
than 10 Jack Queen King, like doubles with suits and stuff. It's like you're not going to see a flop you don't like most of the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that can sometimes get you into trouble as well, mind you.
Yeah.
Here we go. Marcus all in, and Stefan calls. Stefan's going to take it. We're going to lose Marcus. I have no idea what the winning hand is there.
Straight. Flop the straight.
Did he hit a straight?
Yeah, 7-8, 9, 10 Jack.
Sweet. Okay, thank you, guys.
He was actually in a good spot anyway with the pocket jack in the first place. So Stefan Gruber was in a good shout. So our chip leader adds to his stack. Stefan Gruber from Germany, now up to nearly over 90 bigs.
I mean, them short stacks were loving that. Absolutely loving
because that was a big stack handing his chips. Marcus Nord was from Sweden, was chip leader going into this day too. He's going to end up in 7th place, picking up $161, and these guys are all now guaranteed $195. So.
I think from what I saw his hand, he had an okay Omaha high low hand.
Yeah, but we're not playing that.
No,
Detail.
Unfortunately, not.
Mind you, could he get into late? Yes, he can still get into late reg, I think, for the PL08 if he wanted to. Yeah, he's got 5 minutes if he wants to jump into that tonight. If he wants to see whether he can do any better in that. Carl Rowland is chip leader in that tonight. Richard Baker 3rd in chips. Tony Ross 4th in chips. Richard Rudling Smith is on our final table here. He's currently 6th of 35 players playing PL08 as well. Now that's confusing. Playing PLO and PL08 at the same time.
You don't want to get them muddled up. I played the Big O at the Venetian once, which is was it 5-card PL08?
Wow,
that hurt my head. There was a lot of beer getting drunk that day.
No, those people that can sit and play PLO and PLO8 at the same time online, I have the utmost respect for them, because
they're not human. They're not human. I'm telling you now, they're not human.
There's obviously, they must have some way where they've got it set up that they know which is which and they never forget which is which, because sometimes if you're multi-tabling, you're looking back and it's okay if you go, okay, that's 2 cards, that's 4 cards, I know what I'm doing. But when it's 4 cards and one of them has got a high hand and a low hand and one just a high,
absolute mutants, I'm telling you. It's not right.
But if you want to jump into that anyway, it's friendly waters there. There's 4 minutes left of late reg in that. It's only $5.50 to play that tonight. So if you fancy jumping in that, go for it.
Here we go then.
I don't know about you, Stu, but hello.
So Nick's called this off, and the Kings from Andy Heath is going to be enough there, really. I know that.
Like the 2 stacks behind him were fairly short, but that's a loose opening to them stacks.
Yeah, so Nick had opened it in, and Andy's
Andy's ripped for like another blind and a half. But that's why it's a fairly ropey open, because it's just like he's not getting any folds, and he's got a suited ace.
Yeah, and as I said earlier on, Stu, is certainly in Omaha you tend to find the leaks in the game around the button and the blinds are huge, as Igor's all in, and you don't want much better with a king 6 in your hand.
You take them flops, don't you? You take them flops.
We like that.
Thanks very much. So obviously
Larry's got a call there as well. It's
because he was short, isn't he? So,
it's just one of them situations where you curse the fact that you're playing Omaha and you say you're never going to play it again. So you got to put a 0.8 bigs in when you've got 6 bigs. It's just not fair.
Well, let's see what Larry does here, whether he decides now. He's decided
fold,
to fold a small blind. Yeah, can afford to do it. Yeah.
That, and you Stefan's got that many chips that you can't push him about. He's just going to he can see flops out of that stack.
But this is the point, Stu,
so much.
Is it's learning that it's half a big. You know, yes, you might only have 6 bigs, but actually it's only another half a big. You know the big stack's going to call it off. So if you've not got something that you want to go with, just fold it. Doesn't matter. It's not a problem.
You're basically just being the small blind. So now you've got some free hands to see things that you actually want to see, as opposed to thinking you've got to call for half a big or you've got a raise. It's a good fold.
And the next pay jump is, I mean, it's the guys are on 6 left, so it's $195 now. So the next pay jump is up to 250. So that's $55.
Yeah.
That's it's if up to 4th is $340. So that's that's $145 jump. So it's
Larry's not
big. Yeah.
Larry's not last in chips, so therefore he's got the ICM to. Oh my!
Wow, it's all gone in. It's effectively aces versus kings.
Rudders.
The Kings have hit, and Richard Rudley Smith is going to go just into the chip lead.
Wow!
Not quite.
Yeah, I know. It was effectively aces versus kings, wasn't it? Really, in essence. Yeah.
I can understand that kind of hand there. They both had nice hands for the spot. I'm not sure that. I don't know. I think it's one of the plays that plays itself. Really, I mean, Stefan can be opening very wide at this point in time. So I don't mind Rudders play there at all.
No, I would tend to agree.
Igor's just in a horrible spot.
Yeah,
it's just. I admire the fold because it's just a horrible spot. You get against the chip leader, you've got absolute garbage, and you've got to put more chips in. He says no.
So Larry pots it, and effectively is as good as saying I'm all in under the gun. Interesting to see what happened if Richard and Nick don't get involved here. They both folded right now. He's got 3 bigs behind. Can he fold this?
Yes,
can do. You think? Yeah, but would you say what does Andy Heath then do if that's it's
he definitely folds unless he's got something
Andy's raised it up, so Larry's going to call ace queen for Larry. It's kings for
there you go. You see, unless he's got something. Oh my lord.
Hits a king. Wow.
What is the aces? No, they don't.
No.
Kings, yeah.
Doesn't work.
The
like
threes,
that, yeah. So
God's sake.
So we lose Larry in 6th place. Nice hand, aces and queens to be to go for it with, and Andy Heath hits with his kings.
Those kings keep getting there, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. And now Eagle's in a whole now he's in a situation he's that far off the next stack.
Yeah, I'm just getting it in now.
Yeah, there's no laddering here going on. This is now a right. Yeah,
you're basically there. You had one hand to get it in.
And they get called by both of the stacks, big stacks, I'd imagine. Without anyone getting too fruity after that. I'd
imagine lots of checking.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
There's diamonds and there's a straight draw out there and stuff. I mean, they could have hands that could connect with the board, but.
Now, and it goes check. I don't know don't see the two of clubs is going to make a lot of difference. No, it doesn't. I certainly don't think. Well, actually, the third diamond.
Third diamond is a straight draw, flush draws out.
Is a potential that somebody might have a stab at this, and Stefan does.
Yeah, I like Stefan's bet anyway. Regardless if he had the flush, I like his bet anyway.
Yeah, and so we're going to lose Igor in 5th place, but a cracking run from him.
Good job, Igor.
Larry did very well. He was 13 and 14 coming into today, and he's finished in 6th place.
That's a great run. Great run.
That's a superb effort from him. Can't fault that. And Igor actually came in 5th and has finished in 5th. So,
good work.
Decent work as well. So we're getting close to the conclusion of the leaderboard ladders for last week that finished yesterday, but obviously these 2-day twos mean we extend it for a day. Stefan Gruber's just in the chat saying, is no deal making available? No, there is not.
This is APAT, my friend. We don't do deals.
Deals are done in the car park. Yeah.
Give me your cash or else I'll smash you.
So we're on the money, the medal bubble, and Richard Rodling-Smith is sitting out. Clearly that desperate for a medal's decided I'm not getting involved.
Yeah, he's not got many medals, has he, to be fair?
He's going to sit tight, and I say, but once this one plays out, I'll be able to confirm the leaderboard ladders from last week and let you know who's cost us money this week, Des. Yeah.
Oh, Lee. Tony Ross has found us. I know the trouble will just continue on. It'll just continue on for weeks. Listen, it's all going a bit pear-shaped, right? In the tennis, we're 4-6, zip 3 down, unfortunately.
One match too far, clearly.
Perhaps.
But
still, there's tennis on?
It's the Horticultural Society annual tennis event in Norwich.
Des, it may as well be. That's all I'm going to say.
So
bloody football on.
Interesting hand here, three-way. Andy Heath has put half his stack in pre, so the rest of it's going in.
There it is.
I mean, there's value now here for either of them to see this. I can't believe one of them's not going to continue here. Stu, yeah?
Yeah, it's definitely like 3-bet Richard. Richard's called. I don't understand how either of them can fold on that flop.
Well, Richard lets it go.
There's a flush.
But the full house on the river. Yeah, so
fair enough.
So that'll do for Andy Heath. He's very much in the mix now.
Yeah,
very much in the mix.
So on that kind of flop, one of them had to have the flush draw. It's like then you've just got to say, okay, fair enough. We're going with it. Yeah, you flush, and then obviously the guy rivers well, because why wouldn't he river a full house?
Well, we've seen a few of those where the straight or the flush is hit on the turn, or even sometimes on the flop, and then they've got there in the end.
I think that's my favourite saying when I played Omaha. I said, "Oh, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?"
Okay, it is now officially dark in Dorset. That is.
You turned your light off, have you?
Yeah, the light's gone off, Stu.
Turn your 4,000 megawatt intruder light off outside.
That's right. He puts the light on at around midday just to stop airplanes flying over in case they hit his power wires.
Yeah. Enough of this.
Honestly, what was it? Was it Sean that described it as it sounded like the sort of story of like my dog's ate my homework kind of thing.
I think she might have said that. Yeah. Well,
I sat down on the couch with a glass of wine, just going, "Sorry, Des, power's gone off."
No, I carefully explained to her.
Do a show tonight.
I carefully explained to her, you know, she was standing in the doorway, and so I didn't want to take too much of her time, but I said, look, I've just got off the phone with Lee. We were to do a show, or a recording this evening. We're not doing it now because, you know, he was sat at his desk. He heard an airplane going over, and the airplane ran into the power lines at the back of his house. She went, an airplane ran into the back of Lee's house. I went, yeah. And it went from there. I think she might have mentioned the dog homework bit from there. I thought that's what you told me, Lee.
Effectively, that was it.
Smoke billowing from the vegetable patch was what I heard.
At night, apparently there was a UFO sighting in Bournemouth as well. just to add to it.
This is what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere and your electricity is powered by a pig on a treadmill.
It's that general aviation aircraft going back over, sort of looking for that 24-pack of Carlsberg it lost somewhere around Southampton.
I only saw that the following day, but it was I'm not sure it was Bournemouth Echo or Dorset Echo, but apparently a UFO had been sighted as well.
Holy God!
Well, that's just the whole lot, isn't it?
We had some Euro fighters over us today.
Those just ensuring you weren't leaving, or
I have flown one of them, Stu.
I think it's basically the precursor to the Hunger Games happens on a night here. You basically.
I have flown the Eurofighter. Yeah. I've flown the Eurofighter in flight simulator, Stu. A magnificent aircraft. Absolutely incredible to fly at that speed. The only thing is,
next time you're doing it, you need to fly over Yarmouth to see the cricket club.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. But about this plane though, the only problem is there's too many buttons. I don't know how to stop it. I can't land it.
Wait, can you fire missiles?
£12 on that plane. Hey,
can you fire missiles when you're flying it and stuff?
No missiles.
No, I was going to say, is it go to Leeds and just drop a couple?
Just in
I'm pretty
Leeds,
sure I can do that.
Cause a few £1,000s worth of improvements.
Yeah, I mean, I've crashed it into Goodison Park a few times. That's the only way I can take it down. I don't like to talk publicly about it, but Stanley Park isn't wide enough to stop it there. You come in at about like 1,600 knots per hour.
Yeah, there was two. There were the cricket, and I was umpiring, and these two fighter jets just went belting over the top. I was like, "Well, why? Where have you come from? Why are you here?" I can't imagine them flying from RAF Leeming to Teesside Airport, which only flies to Magaluf and Amsterdam.
They've probably come off a Russian sort of, warship carrier,
That's
battle cruise carrier off of the Scottish coast.
That's the only two destinations available at the moment, Magaluf or Amsterdam.
I think so, yes, pretty much.
That's a coin flip if I've ever heard one, isn't it, really?
Like Schiphol or Amsterdam. It's like, well...
When my dad was a boy, right, 7, 8, right, he had a 22 rifle, as everybody did in Ireland at the time, right, no kidding. And he said, Des, when I was a wee lad, 7, 8, I'd stand up on the back wall of our house and I'd shoot at the German airplanes as they flew over. He said, but that was nothing. He said, when the English planes flew over, everybody in the village would come out and shoot at them. I think he was telling the truth.
I was going to say, I don't think that's a lie.
But no, I think he was telling the truth. Wow. Incredible techers.
So are you two not buying into the anyone but England bandwagon for the Euros?
No, I'd personally love to see England win it. I really would. I'd love to see England win it.
I mean, to be fair, I know a number of people which will annoy me for a very long time if they do win it, but I actually think it's good for the. I think it's good for the country. I think it's good for the economy, and also I have a lot of friends that it would make very happy. So I've got no reason not
all
to.
Of that stuff.
Not to
be good for the Premier League. It'd be I think it'd be good. It'd give everybody a bit of a lift. And trade, bars, restaurants, all of that stuff. I mean, people who are happy come out and spend a bit of money. And we desperately need that right now, right? Where everybody needs,
As someone who works in a restaurant, I'm going to say, I hope we lose them because we've had enough people in restaurants for it.
Tips. Think of the tips, Stu.
The tips have been, I got, pretty shouldn't say, but I think the last month I got about £800 in tips.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Really?
That sounds great. Excellent.
Unfortunately, they've stopped paying in cash and they're now paying it like with our wages, so we get taxed on it. Which is annoying.
As you quite rightly should, Stu.
Obviously, yes.
Yes.
Does it count?
Hang on. I'm just seeing. A warm welcome to HMRC in the chat. Hope you're well. welcome to the stream tonight. Yeah.
Robbing bastards. That's all I'm going to say after last month.
Just it's all right. I've solved that problem, Lee. I'll just take him on a picture for a little while. Are they gone yet? Are they gone?
They've gone now. You're fine.
Now, I worked 230 hours last month. The taxman apparently enjoyed my wage packet more than I did. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I'll tell you what. Listen, does it still count as tips if you approach the customers in the car park at the end of the night?
And threaten them?
Well, do what you got to do, right? Testing times.
To be fair, our car park, we're in the middle of nowhere. Even more, it's like Lee, but like more like remote. And like literally, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch black and there's no cameras. I probably could make a roaring trading tips there.
You want to get
just
Lee's
stand there
torch.
in the dark.
You want to get Lee's torch. It runs about 6 miles. Curlarge, that would have to be Richard Baker, right? Welcome, sir.
Sure would.
In the chat box.
There can't be two of him about, can there?
There could be 2 Richard Bakers around. There probably are.
There's only 2 Richard. Well, there are technically 2 Richard Bakers. There was that famous one from the telly.
Who's the Richard Baker off of the telly?
There's a Richard Baker off the telly. Really famous Richard Baker off the telly. Yeah. Old chap. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Curly's not getting younger either, so it could have been him in the first place.
That is true.
I love when those occasional Facebook posts go around where they find somebody on Facebook or they make somebody up with a name.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
That just fits a story. So what is it? Football's coming home. There's one definitely going around with regards to the song "Football's Coming Home." I can't remember what the lady's name. There was a sort of a granny with a name that fitted the bill. I can't remember what it is.
This story's crashing and burning, Des. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, sorry, guys. I crash and burn a lot, mostly at home. It has to be said.
Yeah, so Richard is playing in the PLO8 tonight. Anyway, he's currently 9th of 28 players remaining. Tony Ross is still in there. Greg Mawson's in there. Richard Rudling Smith is still playing. Who else? Brian Naylor's there. Carl Rowland still chip leader. Actually smashing it, Carl Rowland tonight. Huge chip leader in that.
Wow. It's a really good effort to be a huge chip leader in a PLO8 game where you can't win a bloody pot.
Tristan says the aptly named Carmen Home.
That's the one. Brilliant. Love it. Carmen Home.
You knew
she's coming home. She's coming home. Brilliant.
Yeah, very good indeed. Very, very good indeed. So we've just got four more players to go in this, and I'll know the final leaderboard position. I have a feeling, though, Kevin Brzozowski, who was top of the leaderboard going into the Sunday and was top of the leaderboard going into these final day twos, has been pipped at the post for the top spot. Obviously, I need these four to go in, but I don't think any of these are gonna make a dent in who is going to be the winner. It's going to cost us a bit.
That's all right. That's all right, Lee. That's a sign of a successful and loyal member who is doing the pipping.
It's not Gordon MacArthur, is it?
No, it's not Gordon MacArthur. You're okay.
Right,
you're safe.
you.
You're safe. No, because they're on step 5 and they've cashed in 5 tournaments this week. It's going to be Igor Asimov, I think.
Bloody hell!
Fantastic, amazing performance. Like, I mean, you can't argue with that at all, can you?
Yeah, and Dan Austin 3 cashes on a Sunday, including which is night, and he won the closer last night as well. He's going to sneak into 2nd spot. Kevin's going to finish in 3rd. Yanni is going to finish in 4th, I think, and I think Stefan Strofek is going to be in 5th. All the rest,
well done,
in the top 20. We'll pick up that. Also in the top 20, Brendan Byrne made it in the top 20. Gordon MacArthur did make it into the top 20.
He's always there. Always there.
Oh, hello.
There.
All in
Eddie's
here, guys.
There. And we've got an all in
right.
Call.
Straight in the turn.
And
Rivers. Straight in the river.
Rivers are better straight. Yeah. So Stefan Gruber eliminates Nick in 4th place. Nice. And we've got our 3 medalists.
I'll show you back in a minute.
Yeah.
Well done, guys.
So Eddie Dye and Gordon are also all going to be in the top 20, I think. Obviously, you've got full results to come in yet, so that's not 100% confirmed yet, but that's where I think we're going to be with this now. As I will add Nick van Engelenberg's 4th place finish. Cracking run for him.
Oh, brilliant. Rich Baker says, I liked Carl's Olympic starter called Sonia Marks. I saw that one. I thought that was really, really good. There are a few of them going around, and they are brilliant. Right, generally, I giggle at those, I have to say.
Yeah, they are very good. So interesting to see how this is going to play out. Now, Stefan has got a huge, I mean, it's like twice the chips of the other 2 put together.
So how does he play it, Lee?
Well, this is the problem. It's easy, you could, if you're not, you've still got to play fairly solid, because it's very easy to dribble away chips otherwise. But when you've got this sort of chip lead now, it's hard to not play every hand.
I think that you've got to try and put pressure on Rudders.
What, on the basis that, I mean, there's not a lot.
He did have a few more chips before this hand, obviously. But
I mean,
I don't know.
Rudders is now. I mean, that's an interesting one. So Rudders picking that one up.
Okay, now you put more pressure on Rudders.
Now you're going to apply the pressure on.
I mean, knowing Rudders, I don't think that he'll make that much of a difference to him. But I think just in general, you've got to try and turn the screw on him a bit, because turning the screw on Andrew's not going to be that effective. Whereas Rudders can fold to try and get a bit more money in. It's the old ACM thing. I mean, that's what I was talking about Rudders with his raise sizes. Raise is smaller.
Yeah. So that's Andy pretty much kind of saying, right, I'm fairly much committed to this. I think with Richard making the call here, it's now tough to get this away, because you kind of know what Andy's going to do. And
yeah,
Rich
but
does make the call. He's flopped 2 pair, and that is going to be
that's why I like the call, because you can call there. You don't have to get it in and just see all 5 cards. You can call and then just see the first 3. If you hit, then you get it in.
Yeah,
it's a really nice flat pay.
So Rich flopped 2 pair, and that was good enough. And we are heads up. And Stefan Gruber from Germany versus Richard Rudling-Smith from the UK. Andy Heath pocketed $482 and the bronze medal position. Very nice. Good run from you, Andy.
Great
Very
work.
impressive.
Well done, Andy.
And on we go. That's a lovely.
That's a flop.
That's a flop and a half, isn't it? Yeah, you say exactly what I was going to say. That sort of flop is just you just
get on with it, boys.
Yeah, you're loving that.
One of them's got 6 high. The other one's got a straight. They're really just sat there with a straight flush draw and a straight. It's just like, how do I get money?
Yeah, it's gone checking all the way down.
You can't even take a stab at it now because the pot's that small. It's just like
it's such a small pot compared.
Unless you've got the absolute nuts, then it's just like, okay, we're just gonna check it down.
So evening to Twilight of the Beer Gods. Says good evening, chaps. This is great, Stu, because obviously now we're on
just
Twitch.
have a guess.
We have
random usernames, yeah.
We clearly know that we should know them, but we've no idea who Twilight of the Beer Gods is.
Well, we do know something, Lee, right? There are clues there. So he's used an initial capital on each of the words. Now we know if he'd used just capitals with an exclamation mark, it would have been Brian Yates, right?
We know who that was.
So it's not Brian Yates. Good evening, chaps. Very, very friendly. Are you sure it's an APAT?
Twilight of the Beer Gods. Give us some clues.
Oh, do please.
Don't tell us, but give us some clues. Yeah, don't give it away.
I have to say, Lee. Why is that moving? Are you like holding somebody beneath the desk there, Stu?
I was just typing.
Fat Cat Stew says, "Who is that handsome chap on the bottom cam?"
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, no idea who that could be.
Oh dear.
Oh, you can get subscribers and everything on this channel.
Oh, apparently you can do all of that stuff. It's got like a sunroof and everything. It's amazing.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know this, effectively this is it's Twitch poker channel that we're aiming on now. You'll see lots of other content on here, things like the things that Des and I are involved in, like the Orbit, for example, plus loads of other stuff coming up. So well worth subscribing or clicking the notifications so you know when the channel's live. That's for sure. So all we're getting so far from Twilight of the Beer Gods is we're right. It's definitely not Brian Yates. Yes.
It's okay. I've corrected the grammar.
Hold on. Just look at how he spelled definitely. It's that guy out of Line of Juicy.
Oh, it is. It is. Wow.
That's who it is. What's his name? Begins with a B. Boxkey or something. I can't remember now. Ian something or other. It's him.
Oh, that's going to annoy me now. What's the guy's name?
Can't think.
It is Ian.
Ian B.
It is Ian something, isn't it? It's B.
Is it Ian Beale?
No, it's Ian
can it be Ian Beale from the fish and chip shop?
Please, can it be Ian Beale? Oh, the quizmaster's off. Look at him.
Where's he gone, Stu? Where's he gone?
Jen's now scratching her head over it as well. Now
poor Jen just brought Lee a cup of tea and now she's getting quizzed.
No, Jen is actually sat the other side of the desk working. So
having to listen to our stuff. Oh no.
Having to listen to our terrible banter while she's working.
It's all in Lee's head. That banter.
He's signing off a set of accounts at the moment for a client.
Oh God.
Buckles.
There we go.
You see, it was worth it. It's worth it.
I have to say, I think that's just poor spelling and not a deliberate play on words.
Possibly not.
It's a great name, though. It's a great name.
Our first team captain at cricket, his last name is Crack.
What's his first name?
Kenny.
Kenny Crack.
Yeah,
it's the best crack you can get. It's Kenny Crack.
No, it's weird. It's great because his son's a better cricketer than him, so he's got the best crack.
He's got a little crack. Fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic. Oh, I tell you.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So one thing we didn't talk about last night, Des, and I know we're heads up in the PLO, but we're obviously going to focus on this, whatever. So what I want to know, and I'll ask you both because they're very simple question. Is marijuana a performance enhancing drug?
No.
Discuss.
I actually wouldn't know. I wouldn't have a clue. So
I wouldn't know.
But you know the story I'm referring to, I presume, yeah?
No.
No, really not. So American sprinter tested positive for marijuana and has therefore had her
current time.
For Olympics. So it was due to go, and therefore her qualifying time that she made for the Olympics doesn't count, and therefore won't get into the sprint team.
Absolutely, 100% not a performance.
I don't think it matters.
Enhancing drug,
but it is. It is on the ban. It's on the ban list.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't matter whether it is or not, right?
Twitter has gone berserk with how this can't be allowed, and it obviously it's turned into a bit of a.
It's on the list. That's all that counts. Everything else is detailed.
Suggesting it should compare to Phelps, who was done afterwards for something and he got off. It's all very complicated, but ultimately, yeah. But obviously, the point is that it's certainly not performance enhancing, but it's on the list.
If it's on the list of things you can't take, then you're a professional athlete. Don't take it.
Don't take it. Simple as that. Twilight of the Beer Gods has been on the APAT show. I've been in the APAT community for about a year and a half.
It's bloody Andy Black, isn't it? It's Andy Black.
It's Andy Black.
Dear.
He can't come on right now. I've got Andy a job Black. In town. It could be
in the APAC community for about a year and a half. Oh, it's not.
Is it Tom?
Mr. Banks. It's not Mr. Banks, is it?
Banksy.
Yeah, do you reckon?
Our very own Banksy. It could be.
Twilight of the Beer Gods. It's a sort of lyrical name he would choose.
Do you think so?
I don't know. It might be. Could well be. It's been on the APAC for about half, so that pretty much would be during lockdown. So that would be timing right.
It could be Banksy.
Possibly,
that's who we're going with. We're going with Banksy.
That's what we're going to go with at the moment. Yeah.
Which begins with a B. Begins with a B, doesn't it?
Yeah. We were close with Buckle, weren't we? So close. Yeah. Buckles. He was never going to be the kingpin. Never going to be. We can talk about it now because, if you've not watched Line of Duty now, well, sorry, but
that's me.
No, it's not. It's not Mr. Banks. Okay,
it's not Banksy. Bloody hell! What are we going to do?
We're going to be in trouble here because it's probably somebody which we should remember and just can't remember.
Yeah, it's always dangerous this game, isn't
it? Yeah.
We're gonna have to think about that. Right, we'll think about that and we'll get back to you.
You've said that before, haven't you?
Well, maybe
Jesus,
once or twice.
Mary and Joseph on the wee donkey.
I'm trying to think who else is so many people we've had on the show, isn't it? It's like 100 odd shows now.
Right, tell you what we should do then, right? We should ask a series of questions, right?
Are
you a man or a woman?
But there's only been in the APAC.
He's there flicking people down on his little Guess Who board.
Has only been in.
Are you wearing a hat?
For about a year and a half, and has been on the APAT show. I'm going to go back through the YouTube channel in a minute.
This is somebody who's proud of his beer prowess, Lee. So who have we had on that would have been proud of their beer prowess?
Well, obviously JP is always going to be top of that list, but we know it's not JP.
Hey, pardon.
Could be JP.
Surely JP will always be top of that list, Stu. Come on.
No, he's a man. He's definitely a man.
Because he punches about with his combs and his beard oils and stuff.
Yeah, I think he is. He's a beer creator, isn't he? Twilight of the Beer Gods. Yes. Are you an ex-beer industry executive? No, not an ex, a current beer industry executive.
But he's only been in the APAT community for about a year and a half. So
that's
we know
a good point, JP. Can't be JP.
So it can't be JP.
We've completely lost interest in the poker now. Granted, there's a break on, but that's just come at a lucky time for us.
But if it's a break
look, Lee is on YouTube now, looking down through the past episodes.
I'm seriously trying to see who we've had on the show that it could possibly be.
I'm going to have a cigarette and lick my wounds because you think JP's got the best beard in APAT.
I wasn't about a beer prowess.
I thought you said beard.
No, it wasn't beer.
Beer.
No, don't worry about that.
JB can outdrink me. I'll give you that.
So I'm not sure we ever talked about beer. Wow.
That doesn't sound like the APAT show.
I'm desperately scrolling back now to see everyone that we've had on the show because it's been that many people in the last 18 months.
Is it one of the lads from the Black Country Poker Club? Could it be a Dawn it?
No, because again, it's been back in the community.
Yeah, year and a half. That's the key bit.
That's the key. That is the key.
Come on, that's a gimme, Lee. That is a gimme. You're looking through the list. You got to be able to pick that person out.
Well, you'd have thought so.
Yeah. Well, he's having fun.
Well, I'm looking, just thinking. Well, everyone feels like they've been with APAT for a long time. So.
Meanwhile, we've got our peak audience of the night, Lee. They're enjoying this element of mystery.
It's not going to be Sam. It's not going to be Sam Razavi, is it? No, definitely not.
Don't think so.
It's not going to be.
No.
Rob Needham's been.
Oh, it could be Rob Needham.
Could be. Has he been with the community?
It could be. Could be. Are you Robert Needham?
It's a very good impression. You know that. It's very, very good.
Oh, mother of God. Tom Clark. A year and a half. I'm a blue blood. Well, he said it was a man. So what male blue bloodder? A year and a half.
Has only been in the community for a year and a half. Male blue bloodder.
I know we're going to be kicking ourselves.
Well, it just doesn't. I can't think there's any. I thought the Blue Bloods been APAC community for.
We had 3 or 4 of the Blue Blooders on consecutive weeks. Do you remember? And we'd Di call in all of those evenings. She was doing little intros and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we had the likes of we've had Mr.
with Tom Clark on
as cast as a Blue Blooder.
Feels like Tom has been around for a lifetime. You got it, Des. Yay. Who did I get? I don't think I did I?
No, which name did you say?
I can't remember, mate. The moment's gone.
What we got? We got another 50 seconds left on the break.
I mentioned Diane, but Di isn't a man, so it can't be Di, and she's been around for far longer.
Di's technically not been on the show.
That's a good point.
She came on. Did we get Di? We got Di on Turbo Millionaire once, didn't we? That's the only time we've got Di on the show.
Oh, it's Rob Needham. It's Rob Needham, right?
Yeah.
But was he a blue bloodder? He wasn't a blue bloodder, was he?
Yes, he did. He has actually. Yes,
it's Rob Needham.
Yeah, there we go. Who's just finished writing his or I think is it finished? Actually, Rob will tell us whether it's very. You're going
to be going down, son, for a long time. Cheeky wee bastard.
Twilight of the Beer. See, that's very lyrical, isn't it?
That is a great name.
I love it. Yeah. What do the little Prime Gaming?
I think it means that he's got a channel, right? So the easiest way for us to have solved this mystery would have been to click through to his channel and just sneakily look at a video. We'd have done it in about 15 seconds. And he then has the cheek of saying, "Hey, Baba Yaga, don't know anyone's usernames." Ha ha, neither do we, Rob. Neither do we.
For a minute, I just read that as him saying, hi, baby girl.
Come to Papa.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh, that is too funny. That is too funny. Oh, the poker's back. Right, let's do this. Let's take it home. We've just lost you.
Tristan's saying, Rob, they honestly had no idea. Shocking from all three. I called Rob Needham way before Des did. Way before Des did.
You did, in fairness. You did.
Has Stu kicked the router again, is he?
Yeah, he's all over the shop, that lad.
That was me being an idiot this time. I just clicked the cross button like on the top of the on the top of the page.
It's all right. It's no problem. Security will let you back in. You're okay. You're all good.
Keep sneaking through. Keep sneaking through.
Yeah. So do tell us though, Rob. I mean, have we got dates? I mean, obviously we're going to get Rob back on the show.
You bet. When
the books will happen. But have we got a rough time scale for when the book's going to be is going to be out, Rob? I mean, do let us know.
Twilight of the Beer Gods. That's brilliant.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're back. Back with the poker and still going steady here. It's blind to 20,000, 40,000 now. But Rudders has still got 27 bigs. Stefan obviously has over twice as much as that. But
he's got a bit of work to do, but he can again definitely do it.
You don't see those kind of stacks getting all in easily, Stu. Yeah, is that a fair thing to say?
No, absolutely. You say it's now I've said this. It's obviously going to go pop and all in. But yeah, you wouldn't have thought the way they've been playing both of them as well. It's like I don't think it will. Rudders isn't prone to punting, so.
To be fair, Rob, I was throwing a lot of names out, so you might, if you didn't hear it, I was left, right, and centre chucking names out. It is quite scary when you scroll back through. So all the APAT shows are on the APAT YouTube channel, and you can get them all through the website as well. So you just go and you'll find them on there. It is quite scary when you think that we started doing.
Did you put your guest names in the YouTube titles?
Yeah, they're all in there. Yeah. So yeah. So it is quite scary when you scroll through and think the amount of people that have been brilliant and come on the show and given up their time and to just chat about nonsense with us a lot of the time.
But it's fantastic fun for the people who get to come on as well. It really is.
Yeah. We've got people
as one of the people who comes on and speaks nonsense. It's great fun.
Yeah, we've got people lined up. Obviously, we're looking forward to getting Rob back on the show at some point. He's saying the book should be around October time, so that's brilliant. So that'll be amazing. Tristan's going to be coming back on the show at some point. Mark Shepstone, who's only recently kind of been playing and involved with the community, he's wanted to come on. We're getting Kai Hutchison back on. He's already said he'll come back on, and he's trying to bring a +1.
Kai's great value. I love Kai.
Kai's trying to convince somebody else to come on as well. So
I think Kai is one of my favourite people I've ever played poker with. Mainly because he likes to drink as much as I do. We were down. I
still haven't got over the fact that he won a hand against me with quads once at Aspers.
We played a tier event, and Kai was really
smug about it, Stu. He was really smug about it. Yeah, like as I was betting into him, and he had quads. Yeah,
look at that, guys. Look, this is on the APAT website. It's some of those old shows.
Look at those two handsome fellas there.
Well, there you go.
What you mean, Carl and Ian? Yeah.
No, I meant Joe and Laura. To be honest with you,
but... oh dear. There we go.
I think I can remember we played a team event, and I was on the same table as Kai at the back end of a day one, and there'd obviously been a couple of beverages sank. I think Kai was chip leader and asleep at the table. I wasn't. I was like not far behind him in chips or
it's all gone in here, Stu. For Richard, is Stefan going to make the call?
It's a big call. Yeah,
and he doesn't. Sorry, just cutting in there.
No, it's fine. But it was great. It was basically, if I didn't raise, then Kai would wake up and say raise, and then fall back asleep again. It was brilliant, and it's some of the most fun I've had at a table. And I managed to convince Tony Chippery I had queens when I had about 6 high. He's like, "Oh, you had like queens there, didn't you?" Yeah, Tony. Yep, definitely had queens. Yeah, good call. Well done.
So Rich Baker says, yeah, and he's Dave Garden's mate. Yeah, so that's the reason we get Kai on. Definitely agree. Kai would be good. So Rob comes back and says, "Hey guys, given the news today, are you going to start planning some live games again?"
Live games. That's an
no
idea.
pressure, Des.
What's the news? Have I missed
Okay,
something?
hold on. Let me give you the news.
There
it was. That's the whole thing. That is the whole thing. Little bit off still, I think.
Yeah, I think the reality of is even if things does get all relaxed and eased, a lot of the venues aren't yet set up to go. I mean, we've all throughout this, we've always been talking to to Party Poker and talking to the likes of Rob and saying, well, when do you think you're going to do stuff? And I think until you see more venues open and some events running, I think we'll be very cautious in what we do.
DTD have been very kind of slowly with all, aren't they? I mean, they want to kind of gauge the interest and just make sure that it's right to bring it back. And I'm sure when they do bring it back, the place will be absolutely rammed.
Question for you, Stu. Would you're seeing Vegas at the moment and some huge events at the Wynn and Venetian and obviously the World Series happening in the autumn. If you could hop on a plane tomorrow, would you want to go?
Yes.
Yeah, so quite happily would be like.
Honestly, I've been cooped up. I've basically been doing nothing but working and sleeping for the last 2 months of my life, and quite frankly, I don't care anymore. It's just I'd just been able to get away to an APAT weekend again, just going down and seeing everyone. And obviously, if the restriction, I'm a big believer in following the rules that are being set out because it's the right thing to do. If they got lifted and APAT said we're doing an event, I'd be down there hugging as many people as I could get near. So yeah, I'd love to. I really would. And like I say, it's Phil TC, bless him, was his 50. He was his 50th this year, and he was meant to be going up. We were going to Vegas for him, and we couldn't, type thing. And it's we're going to go over there for him. And I think, say, if the government say that we can do it, then I'll be happy to go and just say, meeting up with all you guys again, meeting up with everybody else. I'd be more than happy to do it now, and I think a lot of people would. I can understand if people wouldn't. I really can, and that's it's all personal preference. But I think a lot of people now are just they're going to be itching to get back into it. And obviously, it's up to you guys with being able to put together a schedule, and obviously because that takes a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the reality of it is, as I've said earlier on this show, and I said yesterday, and we've been saying for weeks, is in our minds we were thinking probably 2021, probably we won't be doing anything. But that's not to say that if some venues get themselves sorted,
it's not impossible.
And confidence, and the players are all comfortable with it, and we know that the players' safety is paramount, and that can happen. Then it feels like a kind of a reunion style.
Oh God, yeah.
One back blowout, and plus there's lots of reasons why you would want to just do that. I mean, I think as a community, everybody, as soon as possible, wants the opportunity to all stand there and raise a Corona for Jer.
Oh God, yeah.
At a live event is a huge thing, and actually, just we could put on anything anywhere. I think once we're at that position, and players will come along for the weekend.
I mean, for that you could find a pub somewhere and put something on, and people would just turn up. You could do it in your back garden. We'd all be there.
I think Black Country Poker Club have got a new venue, so we could just have a word with Brian and see if we can sort that out. That'd work. Yeah.
I'm sure Brian would love it. To be fair, the last time I played at a BC PC event was when Borough got promoted by drawing with Brighton. And that was great because the first sitting goes on as that match was going. So I was watching the match on my phone, and I looked down at my stack, and I had 3/4 of the chips on my table. And I've still to this day got no idea how it happened. Apparently, I was just watching my phone and just going raise. That was just such a good weekend, though. It was at the Talbot. And it was just I
was about to say it's gone all in a call, and Rudders has taken that one down, so it's back up to 24 bigs now, and still got Stefan's got 2-1 chip lead, but he's up there. Greg's just asked a question. To give him his full official name, Greg M12345 has just said,
imaginative.
What does a normal APAT live season look like? Well, so normally we'd run, we'd run sort of 12 months, and it would have somewhere around 12 events in a year. You'd have a sort of an English, Welsh, Scottish, Irish, a UK event, probably 3 or 4. Actually tend to be more than that now, 4 or 5 maybe in mainland Europe, maybe one over in Vegas, and it would culminate in a world championship of amateur poker, sort of 7 to 10 day festival. Also we'd have a European championships as well, an ECOOP, ECOAP as well.
European championships, you say?
Yeah, plus a team event. Well, actually, we tend to be running 2 team events in a year now as well. So we'd have all of that going on. I'm ignoring you, Stu. So that would pretty much be how it would work. And obviously, we would then mirror what we were doing live with an online schedule as well. So that would be normally what we would do.
The tier events, the tier event for me is always the highlight of the year, just because there's just so many people down there that you've not seen for such a long time. I mean, the Worlds are obviously like just fantastic as well, because obviously, obviously
again, Rudders wins again, and Rudders takes the chip lead.
Wow.
That was set of 10s, I think it was that time.
Yeah, flop the set of 10s, against Queens for Stefan. They say that the Worlds are just like, there's something different, aren't there? I mean, obviously it's hard work for you guys, being down there and like helped you out with like the updating and the commentary and stuff, but like how you guys do that is beyond me. When you just do like 10 days on the bounce doing like 7,000 events.
Oh, it's amazing though. It is amazing.
Crazy.
That's why I have so much grey hair. Yeah.
Lee's only
24. Stu, you've missed out on my own personal favorite part of the season, and that is when I turn up at Blackpool for like a random 1.5 hour session to meet some shady person from the industry for a meeting.
Walk around shaking hands
in the closed down sort of restaurant part.
Yeah.
Walk by every table and shake every hand, and as I hit table 20, I just go straight out the back door. That's my own personal highlight of most recent seasons.
There's definitely avoids the bar whenever he decides to grace us with his presence.
I've been to the bar occasionally.
It is so.
Who was buying you a drink like?
But how else is he supposed to afford that Ferrari if he's paying for bar bills?
Very true. You can't. Ferraris aren't bought with
the elusive Ferrari.
So Rich Baker's asking, would us Brits be allowed in a European Championship of Amateur Poker these days? Well, it's a fair point.
No, I think you're fairly safe on that one, I'll have to say. Special rules.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to go back.
It works the same way that Eurovision works, in that basically we organise it, so it's okay. We're good.
I'd love to go to Belgium again. Honestly, I really would. That like, was it the European Championships were in Belgium when
Spa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, it was so good.
Yeah, Spa is Spa is the oldest casino in Europe.
Apart from listening to Simon Baker snoring.
Well, there's a downside to everything, isn't there? But yeah, it's
the
guys.
Well, apart from that, it was really good.
Yeah, we were chatting to the guys only the other week. Things are starting to open up in Belgium as well. So I mean, it's the same. Say everywhere, things are gradually opening up, and everyone's taking different levels of of kind of trial and.
Oh, and also also booking my train back for the wrong day.
Question. Oh yes.
Question.
Yeah, that was.
I remember you did that. Yeah.
Question here from you for you, Lee. From Tristiano. Lee, when are you, Haycock, and the Bromleys going on OnlyFans?
Going on OnlyFans.
Apparently, that's what. Yeah. Oh, it's Only Connect.
Hey, that's a niche market. That.
A very, very niche market. Yeah, it's
detail.
Yeah,
it's all in the detail, Lee. Detail.
I won't say the first thing that popped in my head. I don't want to get this lovely poker troll taken off the air.
Sometimes that can be good for views, though. Stu. Bit of controversy.
Yeah, I think JP wanted to come on Only Connect as well. Actually,
I think JP wanted to go on your OnlyFans. Like, all right. I mean, I'm not going to judge him.
He wouldn't pay the £5 a month. Is it a £5 a month? I don't know. What do you charge, Lee?
We've got it on sale at the moment, so it's
well, calling me interested.
Oh. Meanwhile, the poker's kind of leveled out chips wise now.
What poker?
Yeah. See, we've just lost a bunch of viewers when you started talking about our OnlyFans.
You are?
Yeah.
Is it a page or a channel? I have no idea whatever it would be. Oh dear.
Just remember
the thing with this is basically this is going to get to a point. Obviously, as the blinds go up, it's now blinds at 25,000, 50,000, and actually we've only got another 2 minutes left of this level. It is going to get to a point somewhere, Stu, where one of these two is going to obviously take a bit of a chip lead and then be in a position where they can just start getting super aggro with it. Yeah,
I mean they're obviously very level at the minute, and they're seeing a lot of flops. And in Omaha, someone's going to hit the flops a bit harder than the other one is. So it does depend who's willing to put the foot down a little bit and who's going to and who hits more. And then basically obviously that's going to affect. It sounds obvious, but that's going to affect how it goes.
Yeah.
For the rest of the game, right? I think Rudge is playing a little bit more. He's playing. I think he's playing a bit more adventurously. But Stefan's just played so solid from what I've seen so far. He really has. He's just played so well. And I think it's going to take one of them boards, which is easier in Oman than it is in Holden, where they both hit a bit of it and then all the chips start flying about. And if you do go on a little run where you start hitting a few flops, then it's easier for you to, just take a bit of control, which might have happened in the last few hands where Rudders has seen flops and then Stefan's kind of managed to bet him off it.
Yeah, but we say we're not seeing. I mean, I say that's not an action flop. It's not really. There's no flush draws out there. It's. I mean, there is a straight draw, but it's a tough one to be hitting.
But when it's gone check on the flop and the jack comes to the turn there, you can just. It feels like a board to me where you can just take a little stab at it and see what the other guy does.
There's been a lot of pot control here, isn't there?
Yeah.
In the game, it's a lot of low ball hands being played, and it's never getting to a point where a pot's getting out of hand, because that's what can happen in Omaha.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
A pot can get out of hand where you then kind of convince yourself, well, I'm kind of committed to this now because the pot's big, and and even though I'm still on a drawing hand, it's there and potentially.
Stefan seems to be a bit more aggressive than Rudders has been at the minute. Rudders is kind of just sitting in there. I say that as he 3-bets, but yeah.
But again, Stefan hasn't really made a mistake.
No, he's got himself back in the chip lead, and he's just chipping away again. And then Rudders 3-bets and he folds, which is a perfectly fair strategy. He just keeps stabbing, and then when Rudders does kind of come back at him, he just folds and gets out of the way. Like we saw there.
I've spent 2 days, to be honest, trying to come up with some sort of diehard pun, and I've given up because I can't think of anything. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But there's just nothing that you can drop in there which is not feeling like you've crowbarred it in.
You should have put it in the group chat. I'm sure we could have come up with something.
Yeah, it just. I saw it yesterday and thought, I'm going to come up with something here, and it'll be that good. It'll go whoosh over Duffy's head. But basically, I've given up.
Please tell me before you're delivering this gem, so that at least I'm, concentrating.
Yeah.
You've got to deliver it to your audience, haven't you? You got to pick your audience, I suppose, and.
Yeah, it's not easy.
They're just sat there looking at transfer news for Liverpool on his phone.
Never.
Earlier on tonight, Stu, we had. I'm just looking for this. So we had not Swally Inad in the chat.
At least it wasn't Swally Inad. I mean,
yeah, not Swally. So NOTSWOLEINAD, and Des is nervous about even pronouncing it, and we don't know who it is. And so Des is going, well, I don't know. So I said, well, pronounce it. So he pronounced it. I said, right, now pronounce it backwards. And he just looked and went, oh. Daniel Ouston.
Oh.
Dan's Twitch account is basically Daniel Ouston.
It's such a shame I don't have any mirrors here in this little office.
Oh dear.
Redrum, do you remember that from The Shining? In the mirror, Redrum.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we have faced a couple of long heads-up games tonight, which, although not unusual in poker, I mean, we've seen 14-hour heads-up games in the World Series of Poker, right? Been very unusual in our last 18 months to see, long heads-up games. I don't think we've had too many.
Now, this is an interesting spot now because about 15 minutes ago, when Richard was in this situation, he won a couple of hands and got back into the chip lead nearly or one point. Stefan, this is now the furthest he's been, ahead for a little while. Let's see whether he continues to apply the pressure here.
Like I say, this has been his aggression. He's just been just chipping away, and Brothers has been kind of more sat there waiting for his spot. I mean, so Stefan can give away like that pot there because he's earned it over the last 10 hands, where he's just been winning the majority of them just with like a couple of little bets here and there.
Yeah, no, exactly. Rob just asked how many days are the championship running for this? Well, this is actually the very last event. They started last Thursday, so our championship weekend runs from a Thursday to a Sunday with two main event 2 days that then follow on to the following Monday. But
once a month.
It's a new week. It's a new week on leaderboard ladders. So we've got tournaments running every single day of the week and every night, so you can get and play those if you want. But the next championship weekend will be in about 4 weeks' time. So, but same thing. So it starts on a Thursday, so you get the stud mixed max games on a Thursday night. Then there's PLO, PLO8, a couple of PKOs and turbo games, and then the main events. Nice. There's a lovely deep stack tournament on the Sunday night that starts at 5 o'clock every week, and obviously we up the guarantee and the buy-in for a championship weekend. It's a beautiful tournament. You late reg for that. If you late reg in the last level of that, you're still sitting down with 40 bigs.
Bloody hell!
It's a lovely tournament to play on a Sunday night if you've got time on a Sunday night to reg for that. So it's normally will only run for sort of about 4 or 5 hours. So again, it's perfect to play. None of our tournaments are too late. We always try and make sure they finish at sensible time for those that have got work a following day or other family commitments. So this is feeling like it's heading that way, isn't it? It's just chipping away again. He went from 13 bigs down to 10 bigs, and
I was just thinking that I don't know how I'd like to see 7 play, because 10 bigs is like if he raises pre, you can still get he can still lose 3 bigs pre. I think I like the way he's playing the minute, where he's just kind of seeing flops and then chipping away.
See, they're a little one big blind raise, and runners are just forced to give it up.
Yeah, it's just such a difficult spot for runners now. It really is such a difficult spot, because if like Stefan opens and runners shoves, it's like, oh, it's runners pots again. Sorry, it's so hard, like with his stack size, to do it.
Yeah,
if I'm Stefan, I'm just going to be betting every turn card. And probably betting just betting again the river. Obviously, having 2 pair helps, but I'm just going to be putting pressure on, just keep on betting like small amounts, and just seeing what Rudders wants to do with his stack size. Now he can.
Stefan's not. I mean, so when Rudders fires out a bet there, it will be easy to say, well, I'll call and I'll see if I get there, but he's not. He's not giving away any of his chips, easily. So Rudders is going to have to work hard to get there.
Like I say, he's up the amount he's opening for, as well as he's opening 3 big blinds now, which puts pressure on Rudders' stack.
He's got a call here, isn't he?
Yeah, you got to think he's got to take a punt with it. You open 3 bigs, you got to expect the shove for 8.4.
Holds it. Wow.
Okay, I don't mind it. to be honest with you. I mean, it's just putting pressure on Rudder's stack size.
Yeah. So just looking at the leaderboards that are finishing for effectively last night, what we're seeing conclusion now, we've had 158 different players have cashed in the last 7 days.
That's incredible.
APAT.
That's great. Yeah, that's cashed.
That's just the cashed. That's just the ones that are cashed. So yeah, so it's great those that are playing the leaderboards. Yeah, have a look. If you get an early result in the first couple of days, it's well worth then playing a few more towards the end of the week and seeing if you can get yourself up that leaderboard each week. But pretty much top of the leaderboard this for the week just gone is going to be Igor Asimov from Germany. He's on step 5, so he's going to pick up 3 lots of $55 tickets, added value, that is. So very well done to him. Dan Austin and Kevin Brzozowski, both on step 1. They're going to pick up 2 lots of $5.50 tickets. Yanni's going to pick up a couple of $11 tickets, and Stefan Strofek's going to pick up a $5.50 ticket. The others in the top 20, Brendan Burns going to pick up a $33 ticket. Gordon MacArthur's going to get a 55. Di Farrell's going to get a 33. Eddie Niax is going to get a 55, and a bunch of other $5.50s as well for those others.
So explain how you move up the like kind of tickets type of thing in the leaderboard.
If you're in the top 20, you pick up an added value ticket at the end of the week. It's 1 ticket. If you're in the top 5, you get 2 tickets. If you win it, you get 3 tickets. And then the value of the ticket depends on what step you're on. So everyone starts on step 1, which is a $5.50 ticket. And if you're in the top 20, you move up a step for the following week. If you're out of the top 20, you move down a step for the following week. No one can go lower than step 1, and no one can go higher than step 5. And pretty much it goes $5.50, $11, $22, $33, $55. Igor this week is winning the max. He's basically going to pick up $165 of added value for topping the leaderboard in the toughest week.
Unlucky does.
Championship weekend is the toughest week to top the leaderboard, and we've currently got, I think, about 4 players that are on step 5, 4 or 5 that are on step 5 at the moment.
Yeah,
but it can be done, and you move up, you move down as you go. So
it's a great system.
Most of the guys in the top 20 are cashing in maybe 2 or 3 events in a week out of 40 out of 16 events. There's actually a few more on this week. It's about it's 19 on a championship weekend.
So it sounds very doable.
It's great. It is. Lots of lads have done really well with it, Stu. They've done really well, consistently well.
Which is great to see. I mean, obviously getting up to step 5 is a great achievement, and then going top of the rankings while you're in step 5 is.
I mean, Tony Ross, as I don't know, he's actually bought Ilfracombe with his added value tickets. He's won enough since we've been doing this. We're on week 17 of this new format. Obviously, we ran poker squads during lockdown for ages, but we've been running this one now for 17 weeks. And Tony Ross he's earned enough to buy Ilfracombe.
The whole.
I'll tell you what, he's won so many tickets.
He technically owns Yanni now.
He's won so many tickets. He's won so many tickets, Stu. Oh, hello.
And it's going to be over because the Kings are going to be good there. 2 pair Kings 9s. And that is going to be that. Stefan Gruber from Germany is going to pick up the win, picking up $1,114. Very well played to Richard Rudling-Smith. He finishes in second, silver medal for $705.
Great effort.
And that is us done for championship weekend. Great heads up that was. Actually,
really was
a good heads up, to be honest. Absolutely superb, both of those. So thoroughly enjoyed those.
Any final words in terms of the quality of play tonight, Stu? Were you sort of generally happy with what you saw?
Honestly, that heads up was a great example to people of how to play Omaha. Just to show that you don't need to say pop all the time.
It was patient, wasn't it?
They were taking the time. They were waiting for the right spots to bet in. You don't have to have hands. It's just like realizing the strength of your business hand. Honestly, they both were fantastic, and Stefan's played really well to get the win.
Fantastic. Well, and you know, I thought in the No Limit Hold'em main event, similarly, there was a lot of patience shown. It was some really good poker. So I guess with that, big thanks to you, Stu, for joining us. Hopefully, we'll see you at a future show.
Definitely.
Lee, I think that's us until Sunday night. We'll be back with the APAT show, but of course, loads of poker between now and then.
Yeah, we have no idea quite what we're going to do on Sunday. because obviously the Euro final is 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, right.
So
coming home.
We could have the potential that it could be over and we're on the show talking about it. It has the potential it could be into extra time and penalties whilst we're on the show. And I think we might just get on with the show. We might even convince a few people to start the show early and we do an England watch along. Who knows what we're going to do? But yeah, we'll keep you posted on whatever we decide to do on a Sunday night. Obviously, Des and I are just going to be like, yeah, whatever.
It's a game of football, exciting. So, yeah. Something to look forward
to
there.
If you need a very drunk Englishman on the show on Sunday night,
just
let me know.
Brilliant. Okay, that could be a date. Yeah. Well,
but genuinely,
let's figure
it. Good luck to all the teams playing on Tuesday and Wednesday. Genuinely hope it's a cracking 2 days of football, and enjoy your poker for the week. And yeah, we'll definitely see you back on the Twitch. If hopefully, you're all up to speed with Twitch now. So this is where we're going to be for a good while. So we will see you on the Sunday night.
Absolutely. Just get a large piece of paper to write down your password on, and then stick it to your wall with a bit of blue tack, just like everybody told you not to do. That's the way forward, my friend. And you know what, Lee? We've had over 300 people drop into the show tonight. 300 unique people. That's pretty exceptional. And over 13 unique chatters. Chatter. So, for example, Rob Needham is a chatter. Now, we'll call him something else after the stream for stringing us along for so long.
I will be calling him nothing other than the Twilight of the Beer Gods.
That is fantastic. That sounds like a sequel. A sequel to, where we currently are in the narrative. Right, guys. Well, with that, we shall say adios, and we shall see you on the weekend at some point. Night-night.